and welcome to the Comic-spiracy episode 353 for the week of March 1st, 2018. My name is Ryan Higgins, and Ding Dong, who else is here?
Well, Brock Sager, but it's May 1st.
Also, it's May 1st. Did I say March 1st? Oh, cool. That's nice.
Jesus
time
Christ.
still is in effect. All right. Jim Jokisch.
Bruh, what's happening to me?
Spoiler alert.
He doesn't feel too good.
Wait, are we spoiling or no?
Oh, it's all
When we
spoilers.
get there.
When
Okay.
we get there.
You're totally spoiling.
Who's there?
It's Avengers 4. It's Bryce. I'm back.
Oh. I was going to say ding dong, but this asshole already said it, so Toby is here.
No, every 5 minutes you can say it. It's
Just
fine.
assume that they'll come back in 4.
Who else is here?
Charlie.
And rolling. Rolling in.
Kevin Sharp.
Kevin Sharp.
Are we
rolling
going to
in.
tell the people what the ding dong was?
Yes. So, hashtag love the hub.
Hate the hub! It's my arch nemesis now.
For everyone that listened to last week's podcast, and unlike Bryce, who didn't hear it yet, and the consistent every 5 minute ding dong sound you heard, that would be our lovely new point of sale system, Comic Hub, informing us
Knew it was horse shit.
that we had an online order placed, and it goes ding dong
Like a fucking door.
when the order places, and then if you don't accept it, it does that every 5 minutes
Until you accept
forever. And we had no idea where it was coming from. So thank you to whoever ordered that. Maybe
Yeah, I only
Totoro
yelled
that
at
ordered
people
that, actually.
outside. I chased people into the bushes.
Yeah.
I went and banged on the neighbors' doors.
He shit his pants when Scott did a doorbell noise from his
So it was really funny. We've now logged off the hub while we're recording, so that doesn't happen. But
Life is getting bad when a freaking computer program's starting to troll you.
No, I wish it wasn't. If it didn't repeat every 5 minutes, I would totally make that just like a listener interaction kind of thing. We record it this time, see how many times you can make it go ding dong.
Cha-ching. Just it's not a.
Well, I started
change,
tracking
right?
it after
Every
a while.
time it goes off, Bryce has to drink.
Challenge accepted.
That few. Our website is up. It's not 100% ready.
Stocked.
It was actually pretty good until today, and then something fucked up in the shipping. So if you order something, it's going to go, cool, that's $3
It's
for
gonna
every
go
item you
ding-dong.
ship. So if you order like $50, it's going to be like $150 to ship it. So don't order it right now, but hopefully by the time you hear this, it's all fixed.
Can you adjust stuff like that when you're...
So they went into the USPS's like API to pull their direct, rates from the post office site. It's just not calculating properly, so it's just
No,
a
I'm just
simple
curious
bug.
when you process the order if you can adjust the total at all.
No, they pay for it, and then we basically are like, cool, all right, let's go pick the product. So,
I have yet to log on to Comic Corrupt, so whenever it's done,
missing
let
all
me
the
know. Let me know.
That's why you're missing all those variant covers. You and Toby won't do it. So,
Well, it doesn't matter. You got some guy buying them anyways. It's not like I could get a hold of any of your variant covers anymore.
Let us know when Comic Crud actually works. So.
Yeah.
It's working great, man.
I saw you tweet.
is
I
Jim-
saw you tweet.
Is Jim Team Toby with the hub?
I have yet to work on the hub. So
Hub is horrible.
I still love the hub.
Yeah, Charlie.
No, it's because you're an online hubber. if you're a phone hubber, you'll hate it.
he's a hub lover. A hub lover.
Well, I've used my phone occasionally, not for placing orders, but just being like, do I already own this?
Yeah.
The phone is great to just go, do I already own this before I pick it up from the shop a second time?
I've used it. With the
don't
phone
remember?
app needs a lot of work, but the online is really good.
The amount of stuff I have stacked up in random places in my house makes it so, yes, there are things I've bought multiple times, and then when I go to organize, go, fuck.
Yeah, we've all done that.
Wow. That's Higgins 1, you 1, me 0 so far. I'll rectify that.
Well, this is not a Comic Hub podcast that's coming soon. This is,
Wait, we're going to do a Comic Hub podcast?
well, I mean, every other episode is. What is
Starring Jim and Toby.
becoming now basically a monthly routine in which we devote an entire episode to a comic book movie, because when we started this, there wasn't 9 coming out within a 12-month period, and now there is.
You sound very disappointed by this.
No, it's super cool. It's just
Your head is hanging for those who can't hear
we
it.
may
See
just.
it.
It's possible that in the future we may not devote entire episodes to these things, because since I've never intended there to be this many of them.
Yeah, but if we don't devote an entire episode to these things, how long are our episodes going to be, considering every time we cover one of these movies, we go for like 2.5 hours?
Someone already said, could this be a 4-hour podcast? And my reply was, well, does Bryce shit in the woods? I mean, so obviously. Right?
Confirmed.
But then what's going to happen is Aquaman will be 3 episodes in a row, and you guys will get mad at me, so there you go. All the haters.
I don't see Aquaman or Ant-Man and Wasp being full episodes.
Okay, we can stop doing it when Aquaman comes out. How's that?
Okay. Deadpool, we'll just skip right over that one.
Are we going to talk about the...
that look that Charlie just gave me.
Well, are we going to talk about that trailer Toby wanted to talk about?
No, that's next week. By the time the movie's out, we'll talk about the trailer.
I hate Higgins and the hub.
But we should start. Charlie, why don't you start this podcast off right? Charlie brought a prop. I think we need some sound effects to start our Infinity War podcast. Charlie's got the Infinity War gauntlet. There you go.
I think something just took a dump.
Thanos just killed half the universe.
As he should.
No, that would sound like...
This is the...
hot on this.
Huh?
When is it spoilers hot?
I mean, minute one.
Oh,
Yeah.
spoilers are already...
This is the Marvel Legends, right? The prop line that they're doing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they have it just Marvel Legends. I think this was technically marketed in 2 different ways, as a Marvel Legends and a Avengers Legends.
Okay.
Which is why I had trouble finding it in Diamond for as long as I did.
Yeah.
But
Wait, Charlie, were you able to get that on the hub?
Unfortunately, no.
The hub sucks.
It's not the hub's fault. It's Diamond's
No,
fault. They canceled all
it's
their orders.
totally the hub's fault because it doesn't go
No.
ding dong if it did that.
Diamond canceled all the orders, so I went, fuck this. I need to find another place
Yeah.
to get my gauntlet.
I expect they'll come in in 3.5 years or something like
Yeah.
that. They'll randomly just show up and be like, "Oh, awesome! All right, we finally got these. Cool."
By the way, for those of you
Well,
that don't...
Anybody like me who's been dreaming of a nice Infinity Gauntlet for years, there's always going to be room on the shelf for an Infinity Gauntlet.
That's what I've been missing my whole life.
I am really surprised
Just that?
you didn't break down and just say, "Sorry, Nadia. Sorry, Nadia. We're getting the sideshow.
Yeah, but it's not wearable.
Yeah, it's not-
It's horseshit.
It's wearable
basically
if you
just-
want it to be.
What do you
Basically
mean?
just a statue.
You can put your hand in?
I might be able to make it wearable.
Yeah, Jim can fix it.
Oh,
would have
Jim-
made one. Jim's a real
Jim will be
Thanos
able to
fan.
wear it.
Number one
Whether or
Thanos
not
fan
he can move
confirmed.
the fingers, I'm not convinced, but he'd at least be able to put it on.
Jim's middle name is Peter Dinklage, so that's he can cast that.
I have to add that Charlie was greeting his wife with flowers, with the Infinity Gauntlet on
Yeah.
their anniversary.
Charlie was more proud about that gauntlet than his anniversary that day. He was doing flowers and all
What?
kinds
It was
of
just
pictures
sitting
with-
there,
Oh,
and I had the
one-
flowers,
I saw
and I'm
one
like,
picture
how can
of
I
his-
not come out with the gauntlet
Did
with
you
flowers?
wear the gauntlet to like anniversary dinner too, like in public?
Waiter!
Like,
Waiter!
And you don't want to know what he did with it later.
Yeah, but I didn't post any of those pictures.
Wow. Date night with Charlie.
Charlie's Snapchat is on fire right now.
So Infinity Gauntlet. Let's talk about this movie.
Infinity
now, I am
Gauntlet
gonna
or
pull,
Infinity War?
whatever. Who cares?
Wow.
I'm going to correct
You're not
you.
doing too hot.
All episodes.
Avengers: Infinity War, the third Avengers
Part
movie. Well, it's not. I mean, technically not part one. I mean, it's just Infinity
But
War.
technically, it is part one.
Technically or literally, it's not part one.
Yeah. The what are we? 18th movie in the Marvel Cinematic
19th.
Universe. 19th.
19.
Fucking Jesus. Okay,
About
look,
to be 20th.
I'm gonna pull a rank here.
It will never be the 20th.
Because I like to do my random number generator, figure out who starts. They're talking about Avengers. I'm gonna pull some rank here because I'm gonna talk first. Now look, I hate you all. Okay, the listeners, the people at this table. Just so you know, I despise you all. Okay, I love these movies, and yet when I have a complaint or two, I get so much shit.
That's because you spend an hour nitpicking shit and then give it a B+.
And the shit you give it is such bullshit shit that's super annoying when
That's
you
right.
say all that stuff.
It's the bullshit shit
So,
that gets Toby
yeah.
going.
It is the bullshit shit.
So I love so many of these movies, and yet I just don't love them enough for some of you people. So let me...
Any of us.
It's that you have these shallow, vapid complaints about them.
Yeah, like his foot was wrong, therefore I hate the movie.
His foot was wrong?
One of your complaints about Guardians was literally that the theater was too hot. Guardians 2.
A bad movie-going experience will ruin the movie. Mr. Kevin Sharp.
Well, Bryce was there too, as was Charlie.
Yeah.
It's not like just you dreaming
Yeah.
this.
And Kevin was there, and it was not too hot. And those kids were not annoying. They just picked on you.
All the gum was just under my foot, right?
No,
Yes,
it was
Bryce
only
put it all
under-
there.
No, it was only under Kevin's foot.
Yeah. Come on now. Someone dumped the soda on only my part of the
I mean,
the seat,
Kevin
right?
had to folding chair it for Suicide Squad.
Terrible. He did? Yeah, I remember he sat in a folding chair. That was great.
What?
Yeah.
How'd you get in with that?
There was a...
No. I didn't bring it to the theater with me.
Well, you brought it into
They
the
had
theater.
it was in the lobby,
Oh.
and I picked it up and carried it into the
I thought that on the
Because-
folding chair you labeled it top secret in a bright sticker and then walked in with it because it was so obvious.
So Infinity War.
So how was the theater?
Theater was great. We did the Eastridge, Jesus. We did a Great Mall, not XD. I'm going to go back and see it soon in XD because I do want to see it in that bigger screen. I read that this is the first movie shot entirely in IMAX, but I don't think that's
I heard
true.
that too. I heard that also.
I feel like there's been other movies that have been shot entirely in IMAX. I have no idea. It kind of makes me want to go see it in IMAX as well.
I'm not sure.
I mean, aren't IMAX films shot in IMAX?
First
No.
major theatrical
Yeah, why aren't we
full
asking Toby?
entire
He's
release.
literally in the
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Avatar wasn't because James Cameron's a very pretentious douchebag.
Was
Yeah, you
I
proved
mean, that was
over the weekend.
was that pre-IMAX? Like that was pre-IMAX being like a
That was
regular
when
thing.
IMAX was just starting to
Yeah,
take
they
off.
weren't like IMAX.
Well, Nolan,
Right, but if anybody's gonna do
Nolan
it,
is the big IMAX
Jimmy
guy.
Yeah,
Cameron.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Takes it
even
seriously.
Nolan had certain shots filmed in IMAX. It wasn't the whole
Well, it's not
movie.
until after Batman he started doing all of IMAX
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
Let me just say that the IMAX experience was awesome over the weekend.
Cool. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's only awesome because when you watch the normal screen, they're turned on the volume so that you go spend the more money to go watch the IMAX one.
That's a very good point.
Well, that's
the
what, like-
volume was low on my my regular 2D.
I tell the
screen
theater
on
guy all the
Thursday night.
time, and it's like 17-year-old kid looking at me and going, "Oh well, fucking."
I mean,
idiot."
they don't even like put the film reel in. They literally walk up to a box, hit play, and walk away. Like they don't do anything anymore.
Yeah, it's
like,
the same kids
it's all
that work
digital.
at Great America to press the buttons that shoot me off into space. Same kids.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Anyway,
So you're
Infinity
upset
War.
that they hire such rocket scientists to work at the movie theater? Is that what your
fine.
It ruins the
qualm is?
movie-going experience.
So
All it is
you
is
were
the
pulling
button.
rank.
Yeah, I'm
You're
pulling
pulling
right
rank.
here. So I want to talk about this movie for a minute here. We've been waiting, I'd say 10 years, but obviously it's a lot more than 10 years. We've been waiting, I mean,
Since I was 5 years old.
When did Gauntlet come out?
40
91.
years.
91.
I mean, go back to Superman, right?
Well, I'm not 40 years old, so I couldn't have waited 40 years for
but
it.
I mean, we keep talking about how the movies are finally getting to the point where they can finally do like comic books, kind of real, and everyone, a lot of them are good and some of them aren't, and they kind of some of them missed the mark, but they keep getting like more comic booky as they go along. This is the most comic book movie ever.
Can you say comic book one more time? In that
Yeah,
sentence?
comic book.
Not the X-Men franchise? With the weird reboots and double casting and
No.
and retconning and
What are you doing?
No, just
No.
so I
they're
read.
as accurate as you're going to get on comic
Thinking of
books.
Raw Spot with Bryce on about the X-Men.
I read a
Next
couple of
point five
those.
might be interesting.
I read a number of those negative reviews that people had that basically boil down to this does not stand alone. This is the 20th part of a thing. This makes no sense to someone that
It's
just walks in.
true?
This sucks, right? These are the reviews.
Not true?
Right. The reviews are actually, I thought the reviews were a little harsher than I thought. I thought it would have been better.
There's real reviews.
84% on your RT, Bryce. That's low for one of these.
You know what? I don't care because it's
They don't understand this shit.
infinity in my book.
So, as always, going into these, I try to keep an open mind, and I had no idea how they were going to pull this off. I really didn't watch anything in the last month going into Infinity War. I really shut down. I was trying not to get hyped. I was trying not to be excited. Literally, because they moved it forward. On Monday, I saw people talking about Infinity War, and I'm like, Oh wait, that's in like 3 days. Like, I had it didn't even dawn on me that it was so close because we had like Comic Cup stuff and Action Comics 1000 sale, and we had all this crazy stuff, and time just flew by, and I was not even thinking. I was thinking it was coming out in May, and May seemed so far away then, and I was just like, oh my god, Infinity War is out in a couple days. So I go saw it. Yeah, it's a really good fucking movie. Really, really, really good. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's not a good movie. Maybe this is just one of the best superhero comic movies ever made. This is everything I've been waiting for one of these movies to be, where it's like, forget origins, forget backstory, forget continuity. Just take the characters. Well, I mean, I guess it does affect continuity, but take the characters, take just the spectacle of the comic book, forget explaining anything. It's only for the hardest of the hardcores, and if you can't figure it out, it's your own fault.
Tell the fucking story.
And just go, right? And, I mean, from minute one in this movie it did. So this, whatever expectation I had, I think this pretty much, I almost say blew it away. It more than met it, though. I was beyond pleasantly surprised. I held off. I do my ranking. I do my MCU ranking list every time, but I've held off. By the end of this episode, I will have a spot for it. I have a couple spots in mind. It's fucking amazing, though. I'm so happy we got to this point here. They can do it. Anyone can do it. I mean, I love the standalone movies. I love whatever they're going to do, but the fact that they can go as just ridiculous as this and pull it off, that's huge. Let's go back and forth. Let's go Kevin, then we'll go Brock, and let's go this way.
We're zigzagging it.
Yeah, we're gonna cross over here.
It's like we're trying to avoid those dark
Kevin,
side
you just saw it this morning.
Yes, I just saw it as homework. I did a Bryce and saw it the day of, right before the show.
That's what you got to do.
So it's fresh.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that I have a settled ranking for it, but as I was saying to Ryan before we recorded, because I know the comparison is going to come up, technically this is the best Marvel movie. Special effects wise, everything, like just the quality of the filmmaking, I would say this is the best. Okay. I would say I like the first Avengers better than this, because the first Avengers to me is a really fun Avengers annual, and this is a massive line-wide crossover. And just as a consumer, I like the fun kind of contained stories better. That's just my taste. But I could totally understand somebody saying this is the best Avengers movie. I mean, I don't want to go into spoilers before everybody's got a chance to just kind of give their general thoughts. This did remind me, I was thinking about what it reminded me of was kind of that DC series 52, right? With Morrison, Johns, Rucka, and was it Mark Waid? Mm-hmm. Yep. Where some of the chapters in 52, you could really go, whoa, that feels completely different than the one before. Obviously, somebody different wrote that than wrote the chapter that just happened. A lot of the scenes in Infinity War felt like a different writer, even though I know that they weren't. So I felt it was a little whiplashy for me in some parts, not enough to knock the grade down significantly or say I dislike it. It just didn't quite feel as a coherent, again, I'll just come back to it felt like a crossover, like a bunch of cutting back between a bunch of different issues back and forth. I'll stop there for now.
No, you didn't have to stop. You can continue.
Brock, what do you think, man?
Are we going over movie-going experience or just
whatever you would like?
No, it's all right.
If you've had a bad one,
I went to Mercado.
I did.
So you had a bad one, okay?
So
okay.
and I sat in the back of the theater, and I have decided I am never going to sit in the back row of the theater at Mercado ever again because it is a dead zone for sound. Like literally, there is no sound back there. It's like a pocket of just. It's like where the fuck did the mids go in this movie, right? Like I had difficulty hearing dialogue during scenes and stuff. I mean, for the most part, I got it, but overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I mean, it basically brought together what they've been telling for the stories they've been telling for the past 10 years in the 18 movies. They brought it together in this big crossover, huge comic book like event. I can't say whether or not it's the best Marvel movie. I still prefer Winter Soldier over this, but I think that's only because I know this is technically, even though they don't label it, a part 1. Right. So to me, it's...
When they said that, let's get this out of the way first. When they said that Avengers 4 is not actually part 2, it's going to be like a different thing. I mean, whatever they call it, it's bullshit because this will go directly into Avengers 4.
It also was something that was very obvious when they announced they're filming them back to back.
Yeah. Right. Well, so I find it weird.
They even did promo stuff that said part 1 and part 2 on it.
Right, but they pulled away from all that. And I find it weird that they did that, but I guess their mentality is we don't want to, part 1 and part 2 doesn't sell. It'll be called something else. So when it's called Infinity, End, or when it's called Avengers Disassembled, or whatever the hell they call it, it's technically not part 2, right? So, but
it'll be part 2.
Sure.
So for me, I really enjoyed the fact that they kept this movie true to the source material in just the essence of the story and what takes place. Now, how exactly it happened is different from comic book to screen, but the essence of the Infinity Gauntlet story in Infinity War is there. So that I really appreciated, because one of the biggest things, one of my biggest concerns going into this film was how are they going to do Thanos, because they have teased him for like 10 fucking years. Yep. They better deliver on Thanos, and they did. They delivered on Thanos. So, I really enjoyed it. I have little things here and there, but that's beside the point.
Charlie,
stop biting Bryce's finger.
Oh my God.
What?
You've been here for that.
Oh, boy.
It's still funny.
Okay.
Him biting your finger?
Ding dong.
You ding dong yourself.
Drink.
Charlie.
Okay. So this is one of those cases where I've had a lot of conversations recently about this, and because it's a part 1, because I don't know the resolution yet, I do have trouble grading it. But that being said, everything you guys have said is exactly right in terms of, I remember my reaction to Infinity Gauntlet when I originally read it and how excited I was and all the characters, and it just felt as big as anything could get at the time to me. And that's exactly what this movie felt like. And obviously we've been sort of talking about what we expected the ending to be for a long time, so that didn't surprise me. For the most part, I was very, very happy with the way they kind of structured the movie, how they kind of worked with all the different characters. There's a few cases where I'm like, I kind of would have rather they adjust a few things. But that also is one of those things where there's certain character interactions I'm dying to see that I'm hoping we'll get in the next movie. Mm-hmm. Because I kind of feel like there's still certain character threads that until you get like Iron Man and Cap in the same place, they can't really move forward. But no, I'm a huge fan of the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm a huge,
no, Charlie,
I literally have been waiting to be able to buy a gauntlet for years and years and years.
You stared at the bus bank one, thinking of ways where you could hook up lights to it and bore it out, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, see. Okay.
And there is a part of me that goes, because this is a left hand and that's a right hand, I kind of want to.
Yeah, can we for once, just for our sakes and the listener's sakes, what fucking hand does it go on?
I think it's left.
It's left, but it keeps hopping around in
Well, it's like everything else. It's whatever hand they put it on at the time.
It's whenever the artist. Oh fuck! I drew.
Wait! No.
What are you doing?
Stop.
He's playing with it.
Figure the hand.
He's playing with the gauntlet, just so everyone knows.
Why are you trying to fix the hand?
How do I make the hands
just
go?
Use the reality gem; it'll just go in your hand.
Up and down.
It's locked into place, Charlie.
Just pull the things and then push the little button in the front.
What are you trying to do?
Yeah. So anyway, can we keep going while...
There's some good listening.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. Fix that.
The people on 1.5 speed are like, thank God.
I don't know if Charlie's done yet.
Oh, I have a lot more I want to say. I can wait till we go into more details.
Okay, turn that off. Sorry. Jim.
Yes.
Heard you like this movie.
Back when when they were building up to the Infinity Gauntlet, I was really into Silver Surfer and Starlin's Run, and I was really I was really Ron Lim was drawing it at the time, and when Thanos first came back, and the Thanos quest when he got the gems, but you didn't quite know what he was going to do with them at the time. The whole Infinity Gauntlet run, that 6-issue series, you just waited for every book. I mean, you were on your seat waiting for every book to come out. And it was an amazing miniseries. It really was, the first one. That being said, we've been waiting 10 years for Infinity. You know, we knew Thanos was building up to something. We knew that at some point they was going to go after the gems.
Well, we didn't even get Thanos until the end of Avengers, right?
Yeah, so the last 6 years.
Yeah, so 6 years.
So a 6-year build-up. And teasing Thanos, and Guardians teasing Thanos, and Avengers, you know, just... I have been at the majority of the openings on the Marvel movies, on the MCU, and I was not going to miss this one. I flew in on Thursday afternoon. I went directly to the theater. I got a ticket to go see it that night. I stood in line for 2.5 hours. I sat dead center of the theater, dead center of the speaker, of the screen, and I was not disappointed. This is my number one MCU movie right now. I don't know how they're going to surpass it. It was a halfway point in the miniseries, and I cannot believe I have to wait another freaking year for the other half to come out.
Hey, but you're gonna
after 6 years, another year.
That year's gonna go fast.
You're gonna get Ant-Man and Wasp.
We got Ant-Man and Wasp. We got Captain Marvel, and we got so we got Deadpool 2 coming out a week or so, and
Aquaman
2 weeks. 2 weeks, yeah, and
it's
Venom,
called the Cable movie.
Venom and Han Solo and Jurassic Park.
And there's so many movies that are just going to allow the time to go by so fast. So I'm really, really looking forward to how they're going to, tie this off in the next movie. I mean, this is the Empire Strikes Back of the Avengers, of the Marvel universe. So this is, the bag. I'm not going to spoil too much right now, but I'll get into it later. But
you already did.
I know I did. I know, but it's just so good. It was so good that I went back on Saturday and saw it in IMAX. And even though I was off to the side, the sound was a little better, the screen was a little bigger. The detail they put into this movie. I mean, at that point, I could look at the backgrounds. I could look at the detail in Thanos. You could see the pores in his neck. I mean, it was just so amazing. Go see it once. Go see it twice. I'm going to go see it a third time, absolutely. So,
just to repeat, it was the pores in his neck that really
No.
made it.
I mean, my point is that
so you're like, holy shit! Look at those pores. Best Marvel movie of all time.
You think that? You think that? Right?
Get a Biore guy. Come on.
But the amount of detail they've put. I mean, they've come so far with the CGI. That we were worried, how he's going to look. God, he's going to look like Steppenwolf.
Well, I'll tell you this.
So
for whatever money Disney and Marvel cheaped out on the last couple of movies, it's like, oh, now we know why. It's because they put it all into this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
What are you talking about?
So, Toby, how many times did you fall asleep when you went to see it?
He's totally doing the bullshit shit again.
How many times
this is coming from Milkman.
Did your random let's go back and forth across the table intentionally get so that I would be last?
No, I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah. Fucking
Toby, so the last person, Toby.
Good plan.
So the last person we need to hear about, Toby. Toby, what's your how many times did you fall asleep and how many times have you seen the ending?
Well, fuck you very much, first of all. I've only slept once in this movie. I'm making my own language now. No, I didn't fall asleep in any of these movies. What?
Nothing.
Well, because you saw it at a reasonable hour. You didn't go to like the 4:30 a.m.
I watched
show.
It at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, a normal time.
I even had to leave work early, but yeah, I don't remember the last time I watched a movie at 6 p.m. In fact, I don't even remember the last time I got off of work at 6 p.m. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the balancing act of all these characters and how they were, evenly they all had the kind of moments. It was just phenomenal. It's just hats off. So I actually don't think this as a Avengers movie. So I feel like the first Avengers is an Avenger movie. I feel like the second Avengers was kind of like a Avengers special. And then Civil War is kind of Avengers 2.5 in my mind. This is like the
You love those 0.5s, don't you?
This is like the line-wide Marvel crossover. This is like the entire every comic book, every character.
This is just
everything
Marvel Studios.
Yeah, this is just I mean, sure they call it Avengers, whatever, but I would have been perfectly fine even if they just called it an Infinity War.
All right.
But yeah, holy shit. Yeah.
They could have got away with that too. They could have just went Avengers.
With holy shit?
they could
have gone away with holy shit?
Yeah, holy
Probably.
shit. Holy shit. Marvel's Infinity War. Yes, holy shit.
See, that one has 4.
Yeah, I know. There's Iron Spider with four
that one
legs.
has 4.
What's up with Iron Spider-Man in the comics having only 3 legs? I always thought he had 4, and he has 4 in the movie. And then what's up with that? I thought he had 4. It's
Always
stupid.
3.
Yeah, everybody complained about it at the time too.
Yeah, it looks stupid.
Oh, can I share this? I showed my mom the trailer for Infinity War, and she looks at me. She goes, "This has been your dream since you were a little child. You put all the action figures together, and had them all team up, have a giant battle." I'm like, "You have a point."
Yeah. All right, Bryce, take us home, baby.
Take us in.
Well, meh.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Oh my god, it was the fucking best Marvel movie I've ever seen. It was so good. I actually didn't even think about that, but I totally agree with Toby that it shouldn't have even been an Avengers movie, that I love the idea of it being just a line-wide Marvel crossover movie, which actually harkens back to what Kevin was saying just a minute ago about how it's just this massive crossover. Holy shit. Easily, it took me a while to think about it. Easily, though, my favorite of the Marvel Studios movies, but with the qualification that has already been brought up, which is that it is not a standalone movie, and that only because I've seen every one of the other movies multiple times, except for Captain America, the First Avenger, which I don't dislike. It's just every list has to have a last point on the list.
Yeah,
and,
literally no one's list has Captain America as not last.
Yeah, maybe I should watch the second time. And
Wait, Iron Man 3 is higher on your list than Cap First
only
Avenger?
fucking trolls like you and Higgins don't like Iron Man 3.
Well,
People fucking love Iron Man 3.
Kevin's just...
You have Captain America lower than Iron Man 2 is the real question.
Hold on. Captain America might be at bottom of the list, but what's the grade?
Actually, wait.
A-.
Was Captain America...
Oh, it's not a DCU list, right?
Seriously.
That's okay. I'm having too much fun going.
wait,
we'll get back to Infinity War eventually.
Hold on. The Hulk movie might be lower than Captain... What did I...
What?
Movie is definitely lower than Captain America.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe not.
I'm saying that...
Or, yes.
It doesn't matter. Those are.
So, Kevin,
those are
your
my
thoughts on Iron Man
But
3?
only because every list has to have a bottom 2, and I fucking love all the other movies more. Sorry, not sorry. In fact, definitely not sorry.
Anyway,
Tripling down.
Infinity War.
Oh my god, dude. So, this movie was fucking phenomenal. I mean, you guys already stole all my thunder because Higgins punked me by real ass. But this movie was fucking phenomenal, and I have been so anxious this whole time. It's like watching Liverpool in the Champions League. I've been so anxious every time I think about this movie that it's not going to live up to my expectations, because there's no way to lower your expectations for this climax. I know that my old lady doesn't, and just like her, I was not disappointed. It was the best thing ever, and it was everything I ever could have hoped that it would have been.
Why do I want to slip a lie into the comment after
There
that?
was I thought it would be impossible to bring together so many disparate parts of the Marvel universe. They touched on every single movie that has been that's come out,
Except for Ant-Man.
except for
I mean, they mention them.
They mention them.
yeah. I thought that he got a little comment, but
Edit that out. In my version.
yeah, I fucking absolutely loved it. So I was going to see it again last night, but got pushed back to tomorrow. So I haven't seen it twice yet, but I'm definitely going to see it twice. I fucking loved it. It's again, like you guys already said, it's hard to grade by itself because it's not a standalone movie. But as the climax or the culmination of this decade-long, over a dozen movie piecing together puzzle, yeah, it was simply phenomenal. And I totally disagree with what Toby said about Jim, about Empire Strikes Back, because I think that this movie, hold on to your dicks. This
The line
movie
is, hold on to your
makes
butts.
the Marvel universe better than the Star Wars universe. I think that this movie proves
Last Jedi did that very, very easily.
Sure. So, just this movie proves that no other franchise in the history of franchises will literally ever be able to do what this franchise has done. Every other franchise, like James Bond, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, whatever tricks they pull
Or
to
just
make like
English competition.
a universe within the same continuity, it will never be able to match this type of thing because they thought about it a fucking decade ago and they put all the pieces in place so long ago, spent the money, did their homework, put the right people in the right positions, and like did the work properly instead of just like lazing it out or slacking off or phoning it in. And that they put in the work since day one that you know, not all movies were A pluses. Captain America, just kidding. But this movie proves that Avengers 1 was fucking mind blowing to me. I was like, holy shit! They took like, what was it at the time, 6 whole movies and like made them into one movie. They just took fucking 3 times that and made it into an even better movie, which is like, what the fuck? So it was very well done. I cannot believe that they did it. Childhood dream coming to life. I can speak. This will sound better to the 1.5 times speed people. Yeah, I fucking loved it. I thought it was all right.
Let's
I thought it was all right. Nice.
No, it was amazing.
So as much as I like a lot of these movies, and I know most of you are going to agree with me, Marvel has not had the best villains in some of the movies. Some of them are awesome. Yeah. Some of them are great. There's been a couple duds through the lines. And most people are here for the heroes, right? With so many characters in this movie, I thought to myself, there's no way they're going to be able to do anything with Thanos. He's just going to be this like rampaging monster with no story, right? They
Steppenwolf.
Sure, they can't, right? I mean,
I'm not trying to troll you.
Yeah. No, I mean, Steppenwolf's backstory was very brief, right?
Yeah.
I figured that it'd be online with that.
I believe Steppenwolf's backstory was, bitch, you lost, bitch, you're pissed, bitch is back.
Sure. The fact that they had as much backstory to Thanos, and it's funny, when I was watching this, I thought to myself, man, Captain America is like a bit player in this movie compared to a couple other characters, but especially compared to Thanos. Like, for some reason, I had it in my head that Cap was going to be like the major part of this movie, and there really wasn't. No character had more than other characters in the movie. Some had significantly less, but except for Thanos and maybe Gamora, because she had a couple extra scenes than everyone else. But they did all that with all these characters, and then had a complete arc. This complete arc with Thanos.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well,
fucking crazy.
This was the Thanos movie, basically.
Right.
Everybody else was the supporting cast.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it.
But with so many characters and so many plots, I am blown away that they got Thanos so well, right? I really am. It's very shocking.
With regards to top billing for screen time, not top billing like marketing wise, but top billing for screen time, do we know was it must have, I would think Iron Man, but maybe it was Thanos.
I mean, I think Robert Downey Jr. was the first. I think Josh Brolin, didn't he get like an and at the end? I think Robert Downey Jr. was the first credit.
Well, he was like a special mention, but I'm wondering if
minutes on screen. Right?
Oh,
right, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Screen time.
Yeah, I don't know. I would
be curious to say, because he had a fucking lot, and there were so many characters to go through. Just like you said, I can't believe that they did a great job of having a whole character like development arc for Thanos and fit in fucking 18 movies of superheroes.
Well, I mean, I think when you look at if you look at how they broke up the movie in the sense that we start out from the end of Thor Ragnarok, right? So we're starting directly from that, and we take the characters there, and I know I completely forgot that movie.
Can I snarky comment about that?
No,
man, am I so happy that they just said, "Hey, Thor Ragnarok, you fucking forget everything about that movie. We're just gonna rip it in half, destroy it, throw it away, get rid of everything, and just pretend like it never happened and move on without it." That made me so happy.
While it did not make me happy at all, they definitely did that.
Yeah.
I went in with so I saw it with my wife, who's a normal, as we say, or maybe I only say
civilian.
But yeah,
no,
and it
normals.
fucking opens with like the destruction of Thanos' ship in like almost mid-battle.
Yeah.
And
No, the destruction of the Asgardian ship,
Yeah.
not Thanos' ship.
oh, I'm so, yeah. Sorry.
By Thanos.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it picks up right over the after credit scene.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
after the after credit scene which is the almost the one of the two nods, like, and that's it, to Thor Ragnarok. The other
Yeah.
one being that he's like actually missing his eye, which they quickly rectify.
Yeah.
So like, I loved
in a really
Thor.
good way.
I absolutely loved Ragnarok. But yeah, they took all of that and they just did away with it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Which Higgins loved. I was not as much of a fan of, but this movie was so fucking good. I was like, yeah, fucking don't dwell on the eye. They fixed the eye problem. Get the fuck over it quickly.
I mean,
they did.
If they wanted to bring in like Korg and Valkyrie and all those other characters, sure, like that would have been cool if they were all there at the opening and they either get killed off.
Did you
or
see Tessa
sent away.
Thompson's tweet?
No.
She congratulated the Russo brothers on the amazing movie.
Yeah.
And she goes, she knows it's only the beginning.
So she's in the next movie, probably.
Wasn't she also the one that claimed she was a goat?
Yeah.
A goat? Oh, yeah. Yes.
Wait, what?
I didn't see that.
Yeah. She goes,
She claimed she was in the movie, and then shows a picture of like Bucky holding a goat.
the goat.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did see that.
That's me.
Really?
Yeah.
Cheeky minx.
Well, I wanted to ask. I figured we could start with Bryce, since I give him the short shift there. For I will go backwards this time.
Oh.
I mean, we know what we liked. I want to know specific. Give me a couple of specifics. Give me your favorite scene, but give me, if there's anything, give me something you wish they did better or different, or something you didn't care for. Because I have the couple little things that kind of drove me nuts, but nothing that's going to like Kevin said, nothing that would like affect the grade of the movie. Every movie's going to have a flaw or two, but yeah. Well, I mean, give me your favorite scene, but then give me something you wish they would have fixed or done differently.
You might need to come back to me for nitpicks. I do love to nitpick a movie, especially if it's a DC movie, but I've nitpicked a Marvel movie or two. I didn't have that many nitpicks with this one. Let me first talk about some of my favorite moments. My favorite moments, I mean, it was just like my Avengers favorite moments. When the different movie characters come together, I don't want to do too many expletives, but I fucking nut in my pants when Star-Lord met Thor and they had the whole like deep voice. And I know that a lot of you guys don't like the jokes, but go fuck yourselves.
Can I interrupt? Sorry. You just made me remember something.
Okay.
That you hate the jokes?
Please interrupt. If you...
Bryce, you don't watch trailers.
Correct.
It wouldn't have mattered because half the shit in these trailers were not in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they filmed a bunch...
still not gonna watch trailers.
They filmed a bunch of scenes,
Yeah.
and I'm just like...
The Hulk running down with Wakanda.
That entire shot,
Yeah.
the entire scene of Thor meeting the Guardians, like, that's not in there either. It's a completely different scene. The way it is in the trailer, it's totally different.
Also, Suri talking to Iron Man about
Right.
her degrees.
There's a ton of different scenes that were in the trailer, and it doesn't appear that they were like edited out. It
What
appears
if
that
they're all coming in Infinity War 2?
they're like
What if like
completely
reality
different
comes
scenes.
back and the time zone gets turned back and the Hulk actually doesn't have a penis problem and he comes back?
Performance.
My guess, just based on the secrecy and everything they did with the script, I would not be surprised if they wrote a trailer script.
Yeah.
Just to film those scenes. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Well, according to the actors on Jimmy Fallon and on the other Tonight shows, they were handed, a lot of them were given when they asked us to read the script. There were fake scripts. There was 15 fake scripts.
Yeah.
You're doing
and-
this scene on the last day, actually, but the very last page is this one instead. You're not dying just yet.
So, yeah, you're not that far off. There were fake scripts running around.
Well, yeah, and that's why I said I would not be surprised if they systematically went, we don't even want the trailer to... We communicate what we have to in the trailer, and that's it.
Okay, then I wish that every movie ever would do that going forward, because I didn't watch the trailer.
If the cable movie does not have cable in it, I'm gonna fucking kill some people.
Yeah, it was the
That
scene.
is a good point.
You talk about the Guardians meeting Thor. Like, again, the scene they had in the trailer was so different. And that's what made me think
Well,
about it. So
it's even the scene they showed at Comic-Con and stuff was
that?
different.
Oh, okay.
So that, like, all these and that's just one of them. 110% did not know that Spider-Man was even in this movie.
What?
How did you not know?
You did not watch any trailers.
I watched 0 trailers. I turn away when I see a poster. I swear to God, I did not know Spider-Man was even in this movie.
Yeah, he's like at the bus stop. Oh no, a poster! Yeah!
Yeah, because I
like a
fucking am at
vampire
the bus
just-
stop all the time. What the fuck?
Well, you go to the fucking train station. It's the same shit.
No, I fucking
train.
fucking drive to work now, bro. Like, who's at the?
I can't
bus
look at a
station?
billboard.
You turn into a normal.
There's
Lane.
Oh, there's no I avoided all posters. Go fuck yourself.
So
I didn't know
what
Spider-Man
happened
was in
when
it,
you're
and
driving
it
on the
was-
freeway, like stuck in traffic, and
He
there's
just
a billboard
closes
right
his
here.
eyes.
Fucking,
Yeah.
Are you? This is what you're getting hung up on. I drive on 280. There's no fucking billboards.
Oh, okay, you're on
We're in
280.
fucking rich white people, California. Like, what do you want from me?
I thought you were driving
Stop harping on
101.
me about billboards. There's no billboards up there.
So did you like Spider-Man in the movie?
Fucking love Spider-Man. I absolutely love
Thank
Spider-Man.
God you don't go on 101 in San Jose right behind that giant re-elect Trump 2020 sign.
fuck
There's a
that
huge
sign.
Avengers poster. So
Okay, well, I haven't seen
At
either
that
of those
point, you might
billboards.
see Bryce peeing out of his car at the same time he's driving.
peeing.
Am I peeing while I'm driving?
Yeah.
In what? What?
Yeah.
So Spider-Man.
So okay. Okay. So-
Actually, as much as I hated it prior in the trailer, I actually love the Iron Spider suit in this.
Oh, I like it.
Okay, so I didn't know that you hated it. I didn't know that the Iron
It looked
Spider was going to show up.
Bad in the trailer, but it looked awesome. Like actually in
Well, they
use
didn't. They
within the
didn't
movie.
show.
Well, you thought
they didn't
fucking
show
Wakanda was
the-
PS2 graphics, so go fuck yourself.
They didn't show the full suit
No,
in the
his
trailer
his Iron Spider suit
without the
I thought
legs. Though.
looked
They
kind
cut,
of
they
dumb
cut those out of the trailer.
when it was in the trailer, but actually in motion within the trailer.
Half a man in the trailer.
No, the legs.
Darth Maul.
The legs coming off of his back.
Fucking
they
Pete.
cut him out of the trailer.
Fucking he. Move on.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, so in conjunction with that, I loved the. I mean, it broke my heart, but in a good way, when Star-Lord loses his shit when they're about to get the gauntlet off of Thanos, and Star-Lord does the most fucking idiotic thing ever, but it's totally in character. So that broke my heart, but that was a great point for me. I love the fact that Vision and Scarlet Witch got together. Such as it was.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I fucking.
I'm a huge
Scarviz.
Scarviz. Sure. What's their
I don't know.
What's their dating name? Yeah. I'm a huge shit for them.
Visca.
Visage.
Yeah,
Visca.
since the that miniseries back in the 80s that I
Fuck
read
yeah.
way after it was
Hell
published.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
so happy they were together.
So I was stoked on that. I fucking loved the Black Order. I can't believe the Black Order was like fucking invented. I mean, what was that? 5 years ago? It was less than 10.
Yeah, real recent.
Yeah.
Infinity.
Right. How long ago was that? Is
About 5. Yeah, about 5.
okay.
Is
well,
that in my books, Charlie?
No.
Damn it.
those are such awesome characters, and I'm so glad that they did a great job with them. I mean, they could have done more with them, certainly, but I think they did a great job with them. Like, there's no way that they could have just had Thanos, although, they almost didn't do a good job. But, so I fucking love the Black Order. I have so many things that I loved about this movie that I don't want to steal. I mean, we have fucking, like,
Let's
6
go
other dudes.
let's go to Toby. Toby, let's go backwards.
What?
Give me your favorite scene or two in this, and give me give me if you got any nitpicks or little things you want. If there's anything you didn't care for.
No real nitpicks. Thought it slowed down 3/4 in the movie, but not a nitpick. Favorite scene. Favorite scene is
Or favorite character or favorite.
well, favorite scene is definitely the shot of the fucking train going by and then Captain America emerging behind it. I was like nutting so hard that there was such a giant stain underneath my
Jesus Christ!
Jesus.
You love that beard, huh?
No, just a shadow. I was like, it's fucking Cap. It's like the Captain, not even Captain America.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
It was the captain.
yeah. I was bring out the black suit and
That's. I mean, it's full on Secret Avengers.
yeah. But if you go
Brubaker,
back to like you
yeah.
know the cool Avengers with the brown coats and the West Coast Avengers, this is totally the Captain with the black suit and Black Panther is supposed to give him the just plain silver shield.
So now that they've had West Coast Avengers, can you give it a rest? Like, are you done now? Can we stop talking about it?
I want my side movie. Yeah, but yeah,
Any other favorite scenes?
I'll get plenty, but I'll think of them.
Jim, what you got?
He already said Thanos pores.
Favorite scene has to be Thor showing up in the middle of the battle
Oh my god!
And beating
Oh
their
my
ass
God.
with his new axe hammer.
Yeah.
Stormbreaker.
So I am not the biggest fan of Ultimate Thor's outfit, but it looked pretty good in this movie.
yeah.
I wasn't sure. I had no idea he wore that in this movie. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, that never leaked. I didn't see action figures of that costume. I had no idea that was coming. It was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
When he arrived with Rocket and Groot and just started returning the tide of the freaking battle right there, and that was just I got goosebumps. It was so freaking good. That one, and I really enjoyed the interactions between Tony and Star-Lord on the planet. Even though Star-Lord's a total dick, but
On Titan?
on Titan, yeah.
What the question about Titan? This is not the Saturn moon of Titan.
is.
It is.
Is it?
It is.
Yes.
I didn't feel like they made that clear. I mean, I know that's what it is in the
Moon
comic.
of Saturn at some point in
Did
time,
they?
so I'm not really sure how much more clear they could have
I
made
did
it.
not hear that if they did. Okay.
Well, Kevin Sharp will back me up.
They specifically did say Titan, my home world.
No.
I didn't
They
hear
call
Moon
it
of Saturn.
right.
but
They call
I
it.
assumed it at that point.
Yeah, they
so
call it Titan. Yeah, I mean,
You've seen it twice?
I didn't hear Moon of Saturn.
Yeah,
but
I
It's
didn't.
not, I don't think it's just Titan.
I've seen it twice too, motherfucker.
Right, it is right. Titans. I mean, that's where it is in the comics.
that's where
right?
it is in the
Right.
comics, yeah.
And, I mean, also in real life.
But the inhabitants actually live inside the moon, not on the surface.
Right.
So it could be a slight variation.
Yeah,
it's okay. I can live with it.
I was wondering if I missed that. If they said it was actually in our solar system, or if this was just aliens.
Well, I guess
planet.
I'm going to have to go see it a third time just to find out. Because
Yeah, I don't remember if they say
No,
it.
because everything has been spread out. I mean, we have nowhere. We have, the other places they've gone.
Oh, well,
so I mean,
like a lot of like Star Trek and Star Wars, they're like it just takes no time to get anywhere. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
And I want to say that my other favorite scene was the one we called a while back ago. That the end of the movie would be him.
Oh,
with
totally.
the snap,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't expecting the reaction afterwards, but the snap and then burning out the gauntlet and his arm, and
we'll talk about the end, and we'll talk about some of the ramifications here.
One other favorite character, Red Skull showing up.
Oh, yeah.
Red Skull being cursed to watch the freaking Soul Stone because he tried to hold the Tesseract.
I had two moments in the movie where I was audible in my what, and that was one of them.
People thought that was death.
Yeah, sure,
that.
of course.
I mean,
yeah.
and okay.
No, I mean when he's
the
first
way he
in
was
the,
shrouded and
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
he looked like death.
But the second you see
his
the face
would have been white, I would have thought it was Mistress Death.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. It
With
was
the
definitely
German manly accent?
It was definitely the Red Skull.
Well, I like too that they don't tell you, they don't explain it. If you get it, you get it.
Love it.
Yeah.
If you don't,
Absolutely
you think it's not.
I
something
saw
else.
it and I was like, "Damn, they're throwing back hard
Yeah.
to a good
Absolutely.
Well,
movie."
Leanne
First
turned
Avenger.
to me. Leanne turned to me and she was like, "Is that Red Skull?" I'm like, "Yeah, he disappears at the." I mean, I think the assumption was he dies at the end of Cap because he gets sucked into the.
We got sucked into space,
Right,
we
but
we
I
didn't
guess
know,
not.
We didn't know what happened to
Right,
him.
right,
So he got cursed at that point. So
Charlie, what's your favorite scene?
The whole movie.
What's your nitpick? Got anything?
So every single time he put a gem on the gauntlet, I loved. Like I just yes,
Yeah.
I love that stuff. I love the
That's the
scene
collector
in
mentality in you.
yes. I love the scene in Nowhere where he sort of used the reality gem to set the stage, and just when you kind of have that like moment where you realize, okay, that didn't really just happen.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I love him. I love Thanos turning Drax into just the cubes.
yeah, oh yeah,
That's straight out of the comic.
Straight out of Infinity
Yeah.
Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Man-
Mantis
Love
was like
that.
the
strings.
noodles
Yeah.
and stuff.
The coil, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff was amazing. Anytime he got a chance to show off exactly how powerful the gauntlet is,
Yep.
I got chills just because most of the time he didn't need to use it. Most of the time he was just flat out beating on people and
Well,
stuff.
and I think, the problems Thanos have in this are the same problems he has in the movies, where as much as he wants to do all this stuff, it really isn't until you push him that he's willing to go kind of that final, because he could have done any of that at any point, really. And whether he's just toying with him or he just doesn't know.
Well, the way I kind of look at it is, as far as Thanos sees everybody, they're basically insects. He's just swatting away. He does not actually see these people as a threat.
Right.
So he doesn't feel the need to use the gauntlet's power on them until he gets pushed to a point where it's like, nope, this isn't just a buzzing insect around me that I'm swatting away.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got that end sequence where he's putting his hand in a gauntlet and he says, well, I guess I have to do this myself.
Yeah.
Right. So,
which was my one nitpick is there's certain things they did in the build up that don't make sense within the context of this movie, but I don't care. I still got my Infinity Gauntlet on the screen.
You mean like sending people out to get the gems for him and everything?
Well,
I'm still 100% convinced that he corrupted Ultron. Like, no one will ever convince me that he didn't corrupt Ultron.
I'm not saying he didn't necessarily corrupt Ultron, but there is a fundamental issue I have with the idea of Thanos ever letting a gem out of his hands. Giving Loki a scepter and letting go one of the gems is, again, one of those things where I'm just like, I don't really buy that. I don't think he needed to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that being said, as I said, I still got my Infinity Gauntlet on the screen. The fact that the gauntlet itself couldn't have been constructed when he retrieved it, again, is one of those things that's a little odd. But again, it's...
Well, there's the gauntlet that's in Thor, right? It's in the, isn't it in the...
That's a fake, called out by Hela.
Right.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that Eitri hadn't already created the gauntlet that he put his hand in at the Age of Ultron. They never put a time frame when Eitri made it.
No, but when Eitri was saying Asgard didn't respond, they specifically said it's because of Ragnarok.
Because of Ragnarok.
Yeah, but Thor had been fighting stuff off.
The whole idea of Ragnarok and all that, and Thor's people in general, is the fact that they overlook all these realms. You have Baldur looking out and being able to keep an eye on things like
Heimdall.
Yeah, you're right, Heimdall. Yes, my
Number
brain.
2 Thor fan confirmed.
That's fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. No,
because he gets cable number 1 fan.
No, I understand that.
Heimdall.
But they didn't establish a time frame, but I understand that. I understand that retcon right there that possibly could be a problem, but they never said when they created. But
what I'm basically saying is I don't really care that they created inconsistencies. It's one of those things that when my brain starts thinking about it, goes, this doesn't quite line up.
Well,
but the second they established the gems, I've been waiting for this. Like,
if you love the movie, it doesn't matter. If you hate the movie, then you're going to pick the hell out of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is the second they introduced Thanos, before they even acknowledged the gems at all, obviously my brain goes to the gauntlet. Yeah. Like, it just has to be. They could have gone a completely different direction. They could have decided, no, the idea of these gems is too out there. We could just have him use a Tesseract or something like he's done before.
Well, he's gone after the Cosmic Cube. In the book.
Originally, it was the Cosmic Cube.
Originally, it was the Cosmic Cube.
Yeah.
And that's sort of my point.
That's powerful enough.
They didn't necessarily have to go to the gauntlet, but the second they established the gems and everything, I was... This is exactly what I've been hoping for.
Yep, I'm with you 100% on it.
And yes, there was... Some of the scenes worked amazingly well. Like, I do love that Guardian scene where Star-Lord's feeling a little insecure because of how manly Thor is.
You're one donut away from being fat.
They're just Chrising off at that point.
And a lot of the interactions, I loved Doctor Strange looking into the future through the time gem and all that. Like,
we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
There's
because I have a couple points I want to.
They balanced this movie extremely well, and they delivered exactly what you would want them to deliver of Thanos. You'd want him to just kind of arrive and swat you away like insects for the most part.
Yep.
Like, if you remember back to the Infinity Gauntlet book, they had to pull the craziest shit to even have a chance of challenging Thanos.
Well, even in the Infinity Gauntlet comic book, all the heroes going after Thanos was just a distraction, so that Silver Surfer could get a chance,
and
to get it,
get going fast enough
going
that
fast
Thanos,
enough to actually rip it off him, before he realized he was there.
Yeah.
And, even that didn't work. So,
Yeah. As I said, Thanos, even when you ignore the power of the Gauntlet and Infinity Gauntlet, was just a massive powerhouse that nobody within the Marvel Universe could attack directly, even as a group. And that's exactly how he felt in this movie.
Yeah, well, he was a scary motherfucker.
Yeah.
Killmonger may still be my favorite, but Thanos, when he's in an alley and one of the characters by themselves, you're like, that guy is so fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally scared. I mean, in the other Marvel movies, I don't think that happened really. You could have Hela or any of the other characters there with them, and you go, well, the hero has a fighting chance. This is the first time going, if it's 1-on-1, he's totally fucked.
I think we got that from the Loki interaction.
I think we got that from the Hulk interaction.
Yeah.
This is the first time that, in the movie that Hulk refused to come out.
Hulk.
I thought that was kind of a nice idea.
Hulk got bitched and would not come out for anything. We have an opportunity here now to possibly see a Hulk, brute
Hulk.
strength with Banner's brain, maybe a
Great
smart
Hulk.
Hulk. So,
Brock,
Yes.
got any nitpicks? What's your favorite? Favorite scene?
Well, I have two favorite things. One is a scene, and one is what they did with a character, or in this case, didn't do with a character. Nitpicks. I mean, I think it's just nitpicks is like people are like, oh, the scene where the Thors meet and Star-Lord meet. It pushed that Thor Ragnarok Guardians 2 humor, especially with the Drax scene. I think that's the worst scene in the fucking movie.
I love that scene.
The
one where he's standing still.
Oh my fucking
invisible
God.
Drax?
That's the
That was
dumbest scene in the
awesome.
movie. It's
I
the
will
dumbest
watch a
scene.
movie with Drax just standing still and eating chips.
Can you just put it on?
Slowly.
Can you just put it on the TV and hit pause? So to me, that's the worst scene in the movie. Is that Drax scene?
It must be a pretty good movie if that's your worst scene.
Yeah, that's the worst scene. The scene that I just enjoyed the most, and this goes back to it just being very comic booky, was when like you said, Peter's suit looked weird in the comics or in the trailer, but when we saw it in action in the movie, it was like, oh, this is cool. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why that suit's it's a Stark. That's how he gets it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, of course.
And then this when they blow open a hole in the ship and what's that Black
Aliens.
Order, what's that Black Order guy's name?
Maw.
Yeah.
Maw.
Ebony Maw.
The Maw.
When Ebony Maw gets sucked out and Peter's trying to save Doctor Strange and he's going to get sucked out and you're like, what the? And then the extra arms just go pop and save him. I'm like, okay, all right, good, yeah. Like that moment for me was, you appeased me. You used something in the comic books naturally in this scene. And the other favorite thing I did is something they did with the specific character, and that's Thanos. In that, I am so glad they did not bring in death at all in this movie.
What?
That's a want. That's what I wanted. I wanted at some point the death to be there, or Mephisto would be awesome. The devil on his shoulder would have been awesome. But that's just a want. That's not even a nitpick.
No, this is something I enjoyed that they did in this movie. That's always been one of my difficult parts about the Thanos comic book character, is his obsession with death and him wanting to court death, and basically his motivation is trying to impress the girl. That's his motivation. I mean,
That's a lot of dudes' motivation.
It's a lot of dudes' motivation, but
About 50% of the universe, give or take.
But I never really enjoyed it in the comic books. It's done okay. Like, I enjoyed the Infinity Gauntlet. I enjoyed the Thanos quest stuff.
I think the change in this movie makes sense.
But the thing is what they changed it to, the very logical, very just,
well,
I
wouldn't say logical, but he has motivation that makes a little more sense.
Yeah. So I like that they did that with this character, and I also like that at that moment when he's at the place with the soul gem, Zimbar? Vorum.
Close.
Not even close.
I thought there was a Zim.
No, Vorum.
I've only seen it once.
Vormir.
Vormir.
That's right.
I don't know.
Not you, Jim.
Zimbabwe, no, but
No, it's Wakanda. I know what Wakanda is. In that moment when he's standing on the edge and looking out, and Gamora's talking, and you just see him cry, like the tears come down his eyes, like not like full blown crying, just the like handful of tears and all the emotion that's packed in there. That really like made Thanos a very 3-dimensional character. Even though you knew what he was going to do and you hate his guts for it, it still gives him that extra dimension, that extra layer. So I really respect what they did with Thanos as the character. Sharp.
no, Charlie.
Charlie just went.
Okay.
I'll finish before Sharp. Sharp.
Did you think of something?
Yes.
Go.
The other two
nitpick?
scenes, no, fine. I have no nitpicks in this movie, really. I really don't. I love Scarlet Witch in this movie. The fact that she had to go do what she had to do in this movie at the end is...
You love Scarlet Witch in every movie.
I do really love the Scarlet Witch in every movie. No, I love the end scene with Scarlet Witch and Division, and the whole Thanos, and then him just going, blah, blah, hey, do we going that... Spoiler level.
You spoiling everything.
Go ahead.
Are you kidding? You've been spoiling since like
Well-
my intro.
I've been.
Did you enjoy Vision's Optimus Prime death?
I enjoyed everything before that. Then I was sad. I didn't enjoy it. The other thing I really liked was when Thanos is fighting Cap, and he fought back, and Thanos was like, "Wait, there's some fight in this guy." I really like that.
So awesome.
Yeah, just a little look, just a little wink of like, "What's this? This is a human. What the fuck?"
That's also straight out of the Gauntlet comic
That's
book.
awesome. Yeah,
Cap was the last one to face him before Silver Surfer came in,
man, I
and he's
love
like,
it.
"You're the least of us. What why are you doing
Yeah.
this?" But still, Cap held him off long enough.
I love that
He
little
could do
look
that
in
all day.
Thanos' eye.
He
That's
could
from
do
a really
he could
good
do that all
movie.
day.
That's from a really good movie.
Yeah,
Mr. Sharp.
Oh, First Avenger, yeah.
God
Okay.
damn it.
Not. All right. I'm gonna have to wait in on this. Sorry, Ryan.
No, go for it.
I love the first Avenger, and I also really like Iron Man 3. So I'm just throwing down those two things. The three Captain America movies are my three favorite of a set of Marvel movies, meaning that going together, not my top 3 Marvel movies. Anyway, one thing I really liked about this is it did a great job, as like the best comic events do, of building up the oh shit factor as it started, where things are just bad and getting worse. And it really did a nice job. I don't want to retread ground that other people have complimented, but as it cut back and forth, and you saw kind of doom coming. And I really appreciated that Thanos's
They don't have the Fantastic Four rights yet.
okay. Thanos's henchmen were tough, were good villains just on their own.
Yeah.
Rather than just being lackeys that were knocked off easily. That was also refreshing.
Also, they're not the stupidest bunch either.
Yeah.
Ebony Maw was better than half of Marvel's
Yes.
villains.
Yeah, and that was
Like, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A couple of nitpicks. I guess we've given up on the Scarlet Witch's accent, which lived and died for the runtime of Age of Ultron,
and
I guess.
her powers, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
She
Wait, what?
She Americanized herself. It's okay.
Okay.
Scarlet Witch is only barely had her comic powers in the movie, and they just completely gave up on her having those powers in this movie, which is fine. But it's not Scarlet Witch, but she's great.
Wait, I'm confused.
She makes a better Jean Grey than Jean Grey did.
Yeah, that's not Scarlet Witch's powers. I mean, Scarlet Witch controls like
She could say no more
Not
Thanos.
according to Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Muscles.
I have a very scene-specific nitpick that I'm going to save for when we get more towards the
now.
end. No. I'll save it.
Why?
There's an interesting device they use in this, which is the idea of somebody having to sacrifice someone else, a loved one.
we don't trade lives.
Yeah. I just wish. I'm not sure that note needed to be hit 6 times in the same movie.
Yeah.
It was powerful. Maybe the first, second,
Was it
even
hit by-
even the
It
third.
was hit by different people, right?
Yeah, I just
every
mean
group had it.
I just mean I'm not. I kind of got it. I'm not sure we needed it underlined that much. And
Maybe
yeah,
it's a clue to the second part.
I'll save my last one. Let me just quickly, in honor of Scott. Scott
Shay.
sent me his review.
Does it start with
All right.
Ding Dong?
No, just a couple of points. He has some questions, but I'll just give his compliments for this section. Captain America and Thor are complete badasses, only slightly eclipsing Scarlet Witch in his review. Interesting. Humor was there, but in a more appropriate amounts than Thor or the second Guardians. Star-Lord and Spider-Man are both humor-based characters, and while I was frustrated with Star-Lord in the Thanos fight, I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
To me,
Exactly.
the Guardians scene before they met Thor really seemed out of place. That's why I was wondering, Ryan, what you thought, because that was really jokey.
Yep.
And I like the Guardians movies. I'm just saying, in this, it felt like an outlier.
Yeah.
Well, I think, like for me, I really enjoyed when we first see them, right? And they're just cruising along, listening to old music, like singing along, like awesome, cool. And then they start talking. It's like,
Well, I mean, yeah. Let me do my nitpicks first, and then I'll do the scenes I loved. If I had a nitpick again, this goes again. Not much. It's not really a nitpick. It's just this is just how the Guardians are going to be, and especially Drax. I mean, they've just ruined Drax forever. I have to just accept it.
Can you fucking show me any comic where Drax isn't a mindless nincompoop?
The Drax they made
miniseries?
the Drax, well, yeah, especially in
He was
everything.
a fucking like with
Everything from
Abbott and Landing-
2008 or 2006 to now, he hasn't been. Except for
What do you mean until now?
Except for the Guardians comic, which does it a little bit
Okay,
post
so
the movie.
since Abnett and Landing until Guardians movie 1, so he had a whole 2 years of his whole history where he wasn't a complete nincompoop.
But that's not what I mean. In the first Guardians movie, and I talked about this at length, Drax was a completely different character. They basically ruined him in my eyes in Guardians 2. They made him a complete buffoon. And I just accepted it in this movie that's just how they're going to play him up, because there were scenes where he wasn't. There were scenes of the old Drax in there, but then he stands still and eats potato chips, and that scene went on for 10 minutes longer than it should have. I just
Dude,
have
you're
to.
the fucking biggest hater, dude.
I just have to.
I hate that
acknowledge.
yeah, but you're like by default a bigger hater. Like, I'm not even addressing
I just
that.
have to
I'm
acknowledge.
considering Higgins' hater.
I just have to acknowledge that that's Drax going forward, and I hate it. But there's nothing I can do because that's the character now.
I mean, do you remember Drax from like all of the 90s?
Yeah, he was kind of dumb, but again, that's not the character that they introduced in the first movie. They really, I think, did a disservice as a character in the second movie, and continued in this. But he's badass when he needs to be. I think it was Toby. I think you said when you have so many plots and characters, and a little bit like Kevin said, we were talking about like repeating the sacrifice scene a number of times. There were a few times where I think they should have had, instead of character scene, they could have thrown a fight scene in there to kind of break it up a little bit. I don't want to say pacing problems, but there was maybe a scene or two that went on a little longer, because the action scenes were just so monumental that when they had a number of character scenes in a row, they had two characters kind of break off and talk. You see this in a lot of like the TV shows, right? I mean, where two characters talk, they have their monologue or their dialogue, and they go off and do their thing, and you kind of break away from the rest of the cast. And they did that in this, and these guys come from television, right? The Russo brothers, that's where they started. So it's very common in TV to have these sort of conversations. So I felt like there were a couple points in the movie where that slowed down maybe a little more than I would have liked. Again, this is the nitpickiest of nitpicks here, because other than that, where a couple times it would have been like, okay, guys, let's move on a little bit here. I mean, the rest of the movie was, to me, near flawless as far as what I want from a movie like this. Ebony Maw, surprise hit of the movie, no question asked. I mean, if you go back 4 years or whatever, and listen to our Infinity podcast where we talk about the comic books, I mean, Black Order can go fuck themselves. Like, they're whatever in the comics. I never give two shits about them in the comics. And when they cast them, when they said they were going to be in this movie, I'm like, why? Why the fuck does Thanos need these morons, right? But they did a really good job with these characters in this movie. Ebony Maw, clear best character.
They were a solid group of henchmen, basically. Like,
Ebony Maw was on another level.
He was on
though.
another level, but like they were a solid group of henchmen. Instead of like having all these throwaway things.
They did a good job with Proxima Midnight too, but Ebony Maw he could have been the only villain in this movie, and I think he would have been awesome. Like, they did a really good job with him.
He could have been. Sorry. Steppenwolf. All right.
I wish this hadn't featured one of my least favorite devices in modern.
Killing all the villains.
No.
Oh, they only do that in DC movies. Oh, except in this movie.
No.
Oh, they killed
An
all the
army
villains.
of
Did you just,
identical.
like, bring up an insult and then counter it with your own comment? Like
An army of identical drones / soldiers / aliens.
Leanne
/
hated
monsters.
Leanne hated the alien dogs. She was like, "That's the worst part of the movie," and I was like, "Well, it's the Avengers kicking ass with a ton of aliens. I'm fine with it." But
what it is
whatever.
I mean, he was experimenting on Chitauri. It's just one of the things that
I thought they were Chitauri, but I don't. They're
wait,
not.
are they not Chitauri?
No, they're just
No,
like these.
they're
But they
just-
kind of look
They're
like them.
they were in Infinity. They had like these hound characters in Infinity.
I don't remember. Other favorite scenes, and this is actually one of the questions I want to bring up. So after this, I have a couple questions that I want to pose to the group and tell me what your thoughts are. Thor getting his ass handed to. I'm sorry. Well, Thor also, but Hulk getting his ass fucking just beat at the beginning of the movie was incredible. If you want
the stage,
huh?
It also set the stage.
It set the stage. If you want to show the Thanos as a powerhouse without the gems, he's just like, I'm just gonna just destroy the Hulk in a matter of a minute.
But he had the power gem.
But he had like the one, right?
Yeah,
he had the
but-
one at that point, yeah.
before that was
But
before
no, but
Loki
he
gave
had
him
the
it.
power gem, which
Right.
enhances his power. So
Could have done it anyway.
I'm not so sure could have done it anyway, but he did it. He did.
Yeah.
Beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Now-
Unconscious.
Now, isn't the Hulk's power that the more he gets angry, the stronger he gets, the more he punches
Yeah.
down. So did
But
he
there
just
is-
be-
He's knocked out.
But he beat him so fast that
he didn't get
basically-
angry enough.
Basically,
so he could deal
Thanos
with it.
did to him what he did to Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he basically gets tossed back to Earth before he has a chance to.
Yeah. Of doing
React.
it. Yeah. And I think my favorite scene, as far as like kind of like the big fight scene in the movie, is when they're all on the planet and their plan, quote unquote, to get the gauntlet off Thanos. That I loved that entire sequence.
Holy fuck! That scene was so well done,
Even
well orchestrated.
Even a character like Spider-Man, like he has a role to play in this scene, and
Yeah.
you know, and they all get the holy hell beat out of them by Thanos. But the fact that they were able to like kind of tie him down just for the briefest of moments, and they're about to get the gauntlet off him, I was like, oh, here we go. Okay, like I actually didn't know how this was going to go. I was pretty surprised.
Okay, here's my other nitpick.
Okay,
That scene,
how did they do
which
this?
was fantastic.
How did they plan this so
Yes.
fast?
No, not that. You've got Drax and what's the blue sister? I can never remember her name.
Nebula.
Or Nebula,
Okay.
sorry.
I'm literally, not out loud, but in my head, as that's going on, and Iron Man and Spider-Man are tugging on the gauntlet, I am literally in my head going, cut off his arm. You've got two characters with blades. That's their whole method of fighting, and they are not involved in that at all.
Yeah.
His arm is...
Were they
they're
on
like-
Titan?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were like holding him. They like Drax was like behind him, I believe.
He's
And-
locked
and,
down. His arm is literally hyperextended.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, instead of yanking the gauntlet off, cut off his
You
arm.
see his arm? Dude, that's
That is
huge.
hilarious. I did not realize that at all. Okay, well played. My nitpick, if I had any, which I don't,
So this is your nitpick.
is my imaginary nitpick is in the same vein, which was like when they're so I fucking absolutely love that scene,
Yeah.
and for the story purposes, I'm glad they didn't get it off, and I thought it was really well done. But during the scene, I was like, I'm fucking taking gloves off. Like, how fucking hard is it to take a glove off? And like 5 minutes into the wrestling match, they're like, we almost have it off. It's like,
Well,
it's a fucking glove at the
But
end
he's
of it.
also he's pulling his fist.
No,
right?
he's like under mind control. He's fucking. He's done. He's like under anesthesia at the dentist's office. You say all sorts
All
of
right,
bad
here,
shit
hold on,
about
hold on.
your second cell phone.
Charlie,
shit.
can
Oh,
you
I'm
put
sorry, I
the
was done.
gauntlet
Go
on?
ahead.
And I want Bryce to try and take it off of you.
This will be like the Superman Zod recreation at the old store.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, to be clear, I'm suggesting that Tony Stark say, cut off his arm.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
you have two characters who want Thanos dead,
Right.
who both use blade weapons,
Yeah.
and who are in this scene. I'm just wanting them to
Yeah,
act
yeah.
true to character.
So I'm going to pose a couple of questions to the to the group here that I've seen people talk about this stuff online. I have my own opinions, and I want to get your guys' take, see what you guys think. Loki and Heimdall, dead forever.
No.
What the fuck? No. Thor actually says, I've seen him dead before. Thor was dead in Ragnarok. Like, as far as you knew.
I'm just asking.
Okay, the answer is no. Heimdall maybe, but
If they follow Marvel Comics, Loki will come back as a woman.
Oh, I'm sorry, and Gamora. Sorry, and Gamora. Gamora is the other one. These are the three characters.
No.
These are the three characters killed outside of the end of the movie.
Okay, so
the question is, since they weren't killed by the Gauntlet, do they come back? No, obviously Heimdall and Loki can come back because of the gods can whatever.
Okay, so Loki and Heimdall. All right, it's Guardian, and they're more powerful as Guardians, so the odds of them coming back are pretty good.
Right.
Gamora was sacrificed for the Soul Gem,
Right.
but her soul is inside the Soul Gem, and she has been resurrected as many times as frickin' Warlock. So she has the potential of coming back.
So
That's my belief too.
Can we call the end of the movie
my-
The Great Dusting? Or is there a better name? I'm open to suggestions.
like everything around the Infinity Gauntlet, it depends on who undoes it.
Right.
Meaning, if it's
Because I'm pretty
if
sure
it was like Star-Lord or Nebula, like there's plenty of people who would be like, Gamora is
Because I'm pretty
part of
sure
this.
Black Panther, the star of the seventh highest grossing movie of all time, will be back at the end of Avengers 4 for a sequel.
Yeah, because
but-
they've already
but what I'm basically-
they've already greenlit Black Panther 2.
I'm joking.
But
And
all I'm
there's a
basically
Spider-Man
saying
2.
is, with the power of the Gauntlet, they can retcon stuff that didn't even happen in this movie. They could
Right.
bring back anybody
They
who's
could
died
retcon that
through the
gauntlet
entire
problem you have.
Oh, Quicksilver.
Exactly. If it was Scarlet
After they buy
Witch
Fox.
who basically gets the gauntlet and gets to change reality, Quicksilver could come back. It all depends on who ends up with it, because they're going to bring back whoever is important to them.
They're going to reset the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe to include even the Fox properties.
No,
Okay.
it's just like Higgins said. It's the people that attract audiences are going to come back. Loki is coming back because he sells a fucking shit ton of tickets. Same with Black Panther. Heimdall, I'm not sure that he comes back. And the third one, Gamora. Gamora, I believe, comes back because I think that Guardians 2 did fucking really well, and there will be a Guardians 3. And
I was going to actually ask this later, but why don't I ask this next? Because it goes directly to what you
sure,
just
then
said.
just ask it then.
Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Loki, Hulk, maybe. Do these characters show up after Infinity War? I'm sorry, after Avengers 4. Is this the end? Because these are the characters that did not go away, right? I mean, discount Loki, right? He's been the villain kind of from the beginning.
The original Avengers
The original
lineup.
Avengers team. Black Widow.
Yeah.
Did I say Hawkeye? Hawkeye?
Yes.
Well, you
Are these actors coming back? Do we think these characters come back? Do we think Avengers 4 ends with the group shot, their faces are all silhouetted, they've come back from their big adventure, and they're recast? What do we think? Because Loki, I think they're done. I think Tom Hiddleston's out. I think this is the end of those characters, because I think they're going to be very selective in bringing these characters back into the movies post Avengers 4. So I would think they do not come back. At least Loki.
So the way they've already dealt with the gems, especially based on what we got in Guardians with the one gem being held, and there's got to be a cost using the gauntlet when you're not Thanos, because Thanos was already seen to be this big powerhouse that could handle the power of these gems.
Do the original Avengers sacrifice themselves to bring back everyone?
I think some amount of them will, yes.
Yeah. Tony and Cap.
Very likely.
Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know what they're going to do, but I think most of these actors are done.
Yeah,
after
I was gonna
4.
say, that's sort of the answer you're looking for. Is what is the contract status with all these guys?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that the answer?
And they could they could do more contracts at any point, but as far as we know, they're all done. I would think.
I think realistically,
I think
and
Ruffalo's
logically
sticking
thinking
around.
it is done.
Yeah.
But the fan in me is
Doesn't
like,
want it.
please have infinite numbers of these movies keep coming.
Oh, you
in.
kill Spider-Man
I
and Black
want
Panther.
Old Man Stark.
You
I
kill-
want Old Man Steve Rogers.
You kill Spider-Man and Black Panther, who you know have movies coming in. It kind of takes a little bit of that.
who are
that-
also younger actors.
Well, yeah, and it kind of takes a
in a
little
sense.
bit out of the way. When they're like, and their contracts are also up, and we've killed Iron Man and Captain America, you're like, oh, fuck. They're dead.
I assumed everybody who got dusted would be coming back.
Yeah.
with the gauntlet.
Yeah, sure, of course.
With no Asgard, you don't need Heimdall. So to answer your first question, you said Loki, Heimdall, and
and then all the original.
Gamora.
Oh, Gamora.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 out of those 3, I'm going to say, are not coming back. I don't know who the one who would be, but I would say...
You don't think Guardians 3 is going to be the search for Gamora?
Yeah. Dude. Oh. The fact that she's on the Soul World, that's like a whole Guardians movie that they could do.
We'll come to that in a second.
So that's my prediction on that. 2 of those 3 deaths. Because otherwise, if they all come back, then you're just like...
Well, then you're a real comic book.
Yeah.
Well, that
but I think they're trying not to
Bring
be
back
that.
Uncle Ben. Yeah, then you're really talking.
Yeah, I mean, do they put Gamora's body into a capsule, they shoot onto an alien planet, she resurrects a little kid, comes back, fights her brother.
Like Groot?
Baby
Baby Gamora?
Fights, yeah.
Oh my God! How awesome was it when Groot grew his arm to make Stormbreaker?
No, that was the only good scene he had in the movie. Yeah, Groot,
come on, you Higgins!
Whatever, he had it like that's almost a compliment from you inexplicably because he only had like 3 scenes in the whole movie. Like, what the fuck? That was an awesome scene.
I hate teenagers. Of course, I hate.
He provided us with one of the best lines in the movie.
I am
Steve Rogers.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You didn't like the I am Steve Rogers?
No, it was hilarious.
You just don't like happiness, Higgins. You like your dark...
He was an angry teen.
Shit.
Higgins, Ryan doesn't like the fact that Thor could speak Groot.
Toby, if there's anything I hate, it's angry, angsty teenagers playing video games, okay? Come on. You know that about me.
Because he is an older teenager playing
He
video
hasn't
games.
grown out of that phase, so he hates himself.
Toby's ESL, so sarcasm 50% effective.
You said the Soul World.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, Guardians 3 is going to be the search for Gamora, just like Toby said, because the ESL motherfucker is the smartest guy in the room.
Gamora's back in Avengers 4. To me, there's no question. Where's Thanos at the end of the movie?
He's in fucking Wakanda, because that's the greatest place on Earth.
After Thanos uses
he's watching the sun go down, so did Killmonger. Greatest sunsets, Wakanda, case closed, motherfucker.
Thanos burns out the gauntlet, explodes half his body, falls into a teleportation hole of some form.
Well, apparently the gems aren't dead because he used the space gem at that point. So.
Yeah. Where is he at the end?
So originally when I watched it, and this is before I talked to Charlie, I thought he recreated Titan and he is back on Titan.
Yeah.
But then after talking to Charlie, I go, maybe I was wrong about my thinking altogether. And Charlie made more sense at the time, and I'm like, that dude reads a little bit more comic books than I do, so maybe he is correct after all.
Where does Charlie think he is?
I don't think I specified exactly where. I just said it wasn't Titan.
Oh.
Wakanda.
Yeah. Well, I think he's somewhere on Earth. I don't think it's necessarily Wakanda. But
I think Jim agrees with me. He's in the Soul Gem.
it makes sense, but
he's not anywhere. He's in the Soul Gem. He got fucked at the end when he used that power. It exploded like half his goddamn body. He burned out the gauntlet. The gauntlet made that hole so he could teleport to the only safe place inside the Soul Gem. He finds Gamora in there because she's the one that powers the Soul Gem. To me, it's not even a question that that's where he is.
Yeah, but you also rightly thought that the bucket at the end was Nova.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Hold on. Charlie, I'm sorry. I've moved on to a new theory. I mean, I'm kidding.
Again, the comic accurate as well. People have spent years in the gem, the Soul Gem especially.
No, it would make sense.
It's their version of heaven.
Yeah.
And that scene directly out of the Infinity Gauntlet comic book at the very end of the series it was his paradise. That's what he wanted. He wanted to, once he completed his mission in his mind, then he wanted to retire and just do that. So.
And I didn't necessarily interpret it as a soul gem, but I figured he went to wherever he considered sort of a safe place.
He may not know he's in the Soul Gem, but that's how I read that scene.
If he's in the Soul Gem, if his mind is in the Soul Gem, that means his body with the Infinity Gauntlet is somewhere waiting for somebody to take it off and reverse it.
Well, he got jacked. So, I think he's just... basically, his brain is in the Soul Gem, his mind is in his soul is in the Soul Gem, and his body is somewhere doing something,
So, I'm just going to say this because
he didn't
I feel
look
like
the
saying
same
this
to
at
me.
this point. I kind of wish that we had to wait longer between movies.
Oh, God.
What?
No, I honestly
Go fuck yourself, Charlie.
I'm taking his gauntlet.
I have to agree with Bryce on this. You can go fuck yourself.
No, the reason why is because
we know why.
it bothers me a little bit that we have a prequel movie and two
6 months
prequel
prequel.
movies, basically.
No, some very handsome person on the Facebook group described it perfectly as a palate cleanser. You have a comedy and a period piece, and then Avengers 4.
And
The 90s are a period piece.
honestly,
Good Lord.
They are now. We're that old.
I would actually kind of like to see, with the status quo changed, with Thanos just gone, a little bit more time pass. Like, I'd like to see the refugees of Asgard, who are now down to, in theory, 25% of the total population of Asgard.
I'm sure they'll cover it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hear my eye roll.
Fucking hater.
But
Jesus.
I kind of feel like
Go back and watch
when you
Supergirl.
take the gauntlet
I literally
immediately off
watching it
the
right now.
field and Thanos is immediately off the field, some amount of time has to pass while they try and figure out how to
Yeah, a
look at
fucking
Thanos.
year of their life? How about that? Is that good enough for you, Charlie?
I'm not convinced it's going to be a year of Marvel
It's
time.
I agree. I don't think it's going
But
to
it-
be a year. I think it's going to pick
but it-
up
but it-
right after the culling.
Well, I mean, this,
Like I
this takes place, a couple of years after. I mean, the Cap and his crew have been Secret
On the
Avengers,
lam. Yeah.
for 2 years.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying.
And that's
it's
just-
real time.
It's real time ish, and what the fuck? Like a year of figuring it out? Come on, Charlie.
I just-
pull your head out of your ass.
well, and if Thanos is regenerating for a year, right?
That's what I'm saying.
It could be like 1 year later, and Earth is just a
but
mess.
honestly, I
Charlie
would.
used to be the second most right person on this podcast.
Hey, what if
I
Captain
wish
Marvel's
there
also
was-
Now he's down to
space?
3.
I wish there were additional movies contracted because I would love to see
Post-credit
the
scene.
after effects of Cap after this happened and Thor after this happened. Like, this was a huge major event that changed the landscape of the Marvel world.
I
And I want to see how that unfolds for some of
You
these
want to see
characters.
Tony stuck on that other planet for a
He's
year?
not going to be stuck.
He's
for
not
a
stuck.
year.
Nebula,
it's him and
has a
Nebula
ship.
together.
Before you fucking
crashed his ship into
No, I'm just saying, based on the way they left
They are
this
another
movie,
ship.
there's a lot of threads for these characters that aren't just necessarily around. Can you imagine what the fuck's going through the Asgardians' minds at this point? Because Thanos doesn't.
Nothing. They're all dead.
We have to
But
procreate.
Thanos doesn't kill everybody. He kills half. Which means
which was a half of the original, was not even
Yeah.
half, which was a small portion of the original population.
and then
so
the Gauntlet doesn't seem to have enough control to be like, well, I already. So they got cut in half
they
again.
got cut in
most
half
likely.
again.
So you have these refugees that their leader got separated from them in the battle, which means as much as Thor should be like, I need to go after the Gauntlet, at what point does he go, I need to go,
Look after my people.
yeah.
All
Like,
the Valkyries
there's-
leading those people.
yeah.
But that's sort of my point. Like, I really,
to the Soul Gem.
there are aspects of this movie that I would love to see a little more in depth. And maybe it's comic books. Maybe they do a series of comic books
You want to see
over
the
the
dark
next
phase.
year, because I would like to see how some of this plays out, because if time does progress, if they jump forward a year, there's huge landscape changes just based on all these people
It would
being
be
dead
kind of
for a
fun
year.
to see movies in this
We
world.
would have the dark phase, right? We had phase 1, we had phase 2. we
Anyway,
had
that
phase
is
2,
the
now we have
fucking
the dark
stupidest
phase.
thing that you've ever said. First of all,
It means more movies.
I was talking to Charlie. Did you just assume because I said stupid I was talking to you?
No, you're just stupid.
I was talking to Charlie. Look, what I'm saying is that first of all, why don't you, before you throw in shade at Avengers 4 and the way that they wrapped it up, why don't you just wait until Avengers 4 and then say, oh yeah, they should have waited. Why don't you wait until then, see how they wrap it up before you throw shade on how?
Because I personally would love to see a Thor 4 first.
But you don't know that depending on how they're going to wrap it up. They've already filmed it all. The story's out there. It's in the can.
I understand that. And
Second of
what
all,
I'm saying
they can't
is
have how much longer would you have liked for it to be? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Like
So,
how much longer?
I'm not sure if I'd feel this way if the two movies in between specifically were constructed to ignore what happened at the end of Infinity War. Like, if they had given me two movies in the Marvel universe showing the after effects of what just happened, I probably wouldn't feel this way. But I would have loved to have one or two movies to just explore what happens after this big traumatic event.
It'd be
right,
basically
so
like
maybe-
an Age Apocalypse movie, and then you stay in
Okay.
the world for a bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So
I'm
Ant-Man
down for that.
Ant-Man and Wasp could
I
tackle
already
it.
said it.
They already said it doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, did they say it in the trailer?
Though they have that really cute trailer with all the cast members going, "Where's Ant-Man and the Wasp?" Or in the movie.
Ryan made a joke about this, but honestly, Charlie, I think the way the Marvel universe is set up, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is where that would be addressed. That time period. I'm not saying it's ideal, but I'm saying the way that they... Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of fills out the in-between stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Hasn't Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. literally addressed every single Avengers movie that's...
Except for the fact that they're on the bubble right now and may not be back next season.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Can we all just agree that we hope that Thunderbolt Ross is one of the people who are called?
So I have two more things, two more questions. And we talked about this quite a bit, and to me, it's fairly obvious. Some people didn't seem to know, but I think it's fairly obvious. Hulk doesn't want to come out because Thanos kicked the shit out of him, right?
Yes, that's pretty clear.
I mean, yeah.
What's not clear about that?
Some people didn't quite get that.
Why
I just
not?
wanted to ask the audience, ask you guys.
I thought it was pretty clear.
No, it's very clear.
Sure. Now, the final one. I cannot be the only person in the end credits, in the post-credit sequence, when Nick Fury's pager, his intergalactic pager goes off, and you see that symbol. Tell me you didn't think that was the Nova Corps symbol at first.
That's just you.
No.
Yeah.
100% it was the Nova Corps. Listen, if I'm Nick Fury and about 5 seconds before I say, I am, who am I going to call? I'm going to call this...
The Ghostbusters!
I did walk right into that. I did walk right into that one. Okay, mea culpa. I'm thinking because I was thinking during the movie, I was like, is he going to call Captain Marvel's, I'm sure, a fucking total badass and awesome. Is he going to call her? Or is he going to call the intergalactic fucking space police of tens of thousands of members that literally...
Who already got their ass kicked
But he
by
didn't know.
Thanos.
He didn't know that.
He doesn't know they already got their ass handed to them.
Well, he also doesn't know they
knows.
exist.
So here is Ryan's brain in the matter of 3 seconds, okay?
Yeah.
Pager's going off. Who is it? It's the Nova Corps. Holy shit, there's going to be a Nova movie. I wonder if there's going to be a New Warriors comic book based around this. Wait a minute, what's with those colors? Oh, it's Captain Marvel. This was my brain in 3 seconds.
Such a Ryan move.
3 seconds.
Well, I can feel Ryan's pain a little bit on this. Not because of Nova, but because...
I like Captain Marvel enough.
No, hold on. Literally my two favorite Marvel characters are Adam Warlock and Captain Marvel, meaning Marvel.
Yeah,
and
you're fucked.
And, I'm getting danced right around the edge of these two characters through all of these movies.
Aren't you super excited for Adam Warlock to show up at Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where I'm sure there's going to be lots of jokes, and he's going to do some dance moves out of his. He's
James Gunn said that Guardians 3 takes place after Avengers 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Adam Warlock's not coming until that.
What if it doesn't even have the same cast? What if it's Sylvester Stallone and his Guardians?
So Ryan, you think you have blue balls with Nova? I'm telling you, I'm getting teased.
No, hold on.
Recklessly.
We have to establish it's the Rich Rider Nova.
Yeah,
the
of
other one
course,
doesn't
of course,
exist,
of
right?
course, the only one.
Now,
Hashtag one true Nova.
with half the population of everything disappearing,
Yeah.
who says that Captain Marvel didn't just disappear also?
Well, we don't know, right? I mean, I have
why would
The Captain Marvel movie that they're putting in between
but
this.
why would Nick Fury go, we're all disappearing, let me press a button to get Captain Marvel, who might not be disappearing?
I have to assume that also Brie Larson's not going to be 55 when this movie comes out, so there's going to be some time travel shit, or she's in if you're on Kree, you don't age. Like something's going to happen because
wait. Do we know when half the Earth population died? Was everybody? No, because there was the dudes on Titan too.
It's half the population everywhere.
of the universe. Yeah.
Okay. Well, because other than the
So how
characters
many
in this
Stan
movie,
Lees-
we didn't get any proof of that. They didn't show any alien planets where half the people were dying.
Sure.
Yeah, but Drax...
They were only showing so Titan and Earth. So my question was,
I just remembered another one of my favorite scenes. When
was it Drax eating potato chips?
When Thanos has baby Gamora, and he's like, just don't look that way. Don't look that way. Look this way. And then you just see half the people on that planet just drop dead.
Yeah.
They're blasting everyone on that one side.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a fucking awesome scene.
Yeah, it was
Sorry,
awesome.
continue.
Scott also raised another question, Ryan. I don't know if you were going to get to this,
Yeah.
which is he's asking here. So here's his exact question, and then I'll branch out from this. Were Doctor Strange's green time bands on in the first fight with the Black Order? Or are they in the middle of the, quote, only way to win? So the question of Doctor Strange handing over that...
I forgot the most important question. Doctor Strange doesn't fuck up. Doctor Strange sees there's only one way to win, and that's give him the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Because he sees this is the only way.
Yeah, my wife picked that out. Yeah. That
Again,
seems, of course.
Many people did not seem to understand. When this happened, at first you're like, Doctor Strange fucked up. Oh my God, what's happening? And then you're like, no, he didn't. This is the only way they're going to win.
Even his last line to Tony made it obvious.
Yeah, we're in the end game now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Or something thereof.
Yeah. So, yeah, everything is going according to Doctor Strange's plan. So, man, Doctor Strange is so badass.
I don't
in
even
this movie.
consider it Doctor Strange's plan. I see,
or whoever. He knows this is the way.
He couldn't win without Iron Man or something like that.
Well, that's what people thought, right? I mean, in that scene, the belief is that he has to save Tony in order to win.
No, I was thinking it's not necessarily saving Tony. It was more like without Tony they can't win.
Yeah,
that they needed Tony. It was not save Tony. It was more a need Tony for this to work.
The events have to go the way they go in order for them to win. By giving him the gauntlet, he will undo himself. So.
Because don't we assume this is the one out of the 14 million?
14,605,000.
But this is he's creating the one that he saw.
Right.
Wasn't it trillion?
I
thought it was trillion.
But do you think he actually saw the one option? Because the way I kind of thought it was, he didn't see any options out.
He said there's one.
Well, I think he said that to appease the other people to give him hope.
No, he kept running through realities till he found one where they won.
And then Thanos shows up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it would have stayed in there till he found a case where they had a chance.
Yeah.
Seems like a bit of a cheat, though, huh? It's like Superman turning the Earth backwards. You're just like...
flying back through time.
I know.
Ryan Higgins, who never uses save states.
Do you want to do a prediction about Part 4?
Yeah, absolutely.
A single, because otherwise we'd go down a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Anybody have one?
You started it. You go ahead and start it.
Well, I told this to Scott. I say a Hawkeye arrow shot is going to be a key moment.
With Ant-Man on the arrow,
Possibly,
right?
yes. It's going to be a key save moment at some point in the movie.
So what they're going to do, right? What they're going to do is there's going to be a force field around Thanos, and what's actually going to happen is that Hawkeye is going to shoot an arrow, and Ant-Man's going to shrink so low that in order for light to get through a force field, that means something is getting through. If you can see through a force field, that means light is getting through. So what actually is going to happen is Ant-Man shrinks down so low that on the arrow that he goes through the force field, because he's able to shrink down that low.
We get it, nerd.
To get through the light.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because that's what Green Arrow and the Atom do.
Yeah. Needed a little help there.
Fucking Justice
No,
League,
I just figured and Tony Stark's going to be the one to explain this, and that's why he had to survive.
Maybe.
Well, it's going to be established from Ant-Man and Wasp because they've been to the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Hey, spoiler level something.
Oh, sorry, I actually watched the trailers.
No, I mean,
Spoiler?
You want to know who that guy is in that man?
Whoa!
If I have any, if I have
do that. It's Cable.
I think there's a post-credit scene with Silver Surfer. I'm going to call it right now.
You're calling it now?
Yep, I'm going to call it right now.
Yeah.
Avengers 4, post-credit scene,
Very
Silver Surfer.
similarly, almost overlapping.
So 10 years till Galactus. Year 20, Galactus.
10 years till Galactus.
My prediction is exactly this whole Fox merger. Because, they release it a year from now, it'll be so much closer to being done. They'll just tease something. They'll work out a deal. I think that it'll be some Fox merger-related
they defeat Thanos.
you realize they're going to have
over the
filmed
moon,
a
you
bunch of
see-
different options depending on how things land.
I really honestly think that the next mega arc of the next 10 years of Marvel Universe is Secret Wars related.
A shadow falls over the Earth, which is these two kind of just spike-looking things.
Purple prongs?
Yeah.
Well, a man can dream.
You think they
So
go
we're going to
Secret
be
Wars?
60 and be like, dude, we can't wait for Avengers 15.
I don't think they go Secret Wars. Secret Wars is honestly kind of a dumb story. I think they go Thanos. I think they...
Secret Wars with Beyonder or Secret Wars, the most recent one with Doom?
Nah.
Beyonder.
No. I think they go. I don't think they go Secret Wars.
No,
That's
I
just
think
throwing them all on a
Under
planet
the
and fighting.
Age of the Shield.
I think after Avengers 4, we kind of get, like you said, a reset of some of the characters.
They go Galactus,
right, and then we move towards other things, and most likely tying in Fox, Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, like bringing all this stuff in. So, like because they haven't even addressed Kang yet. They haven't addressed a lot of big, giant Avengers villains, and so they have.
Doctor Doom needs to be addressed, like for real, not the fucking.
So
shit
wait,
that
at the end of Avengers 4, Toby,
Yeah.
Thanos / Infinity Stones still a threat or not? I don't mean like that's the villain for the next movie, but I mean still around and dangerous. Or
Oh, they're
not?
going to keep it around. I'm going to keep it around.
I know that Jim wants the scene with all the like celestial.
It's just
Hell
like,
yeah, it's one of the best.
it's just,
scenes.
it's just like in
That's
year
one of the-
30, it's going to be hard to get just Brolin again, but
Which one?
No,
was
the-
was walking around. Which
That
movie?
was like issued 3 or four.
Which
Issue
movie?
4.
Which movie?
It was Guardians.
2?
Oh, Celestial. Yeah,
No, Guardians,
Gar-
the first one.
Guardians, the first one.
First one.
It showed the Celestial on the planet.
yeah, with Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And you know that Nowhere was
Oh, wait,
actually
no,
a
that's the
Celestial
Watchers.
head.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I think in terms of the Thanos, I don't know if he'll still be around. Probably, just because why kill him?
Yeah.
The Gauntlet,
That's the
though,
Marvel way.
No.
The Gauntlet, some of the gems will be destroyed. Not all of them, but some of them will be destroyed.
They're definitely going to take a Hickman page and they're going to destroy everything but, like, what was it? Time Gem?
Did you
Reality
see
Gem?
Hickman's
Reality
tweet?
Well, the problem
Did you
is-
see Hickman's tweet about his soccer club is talking about the Avengers movie? And he told him to fuck off. He doesn't know anything he's talking about.
Yes.
I'm gonna read a couple comments here from people, and we'll just kind of meander around the movie a little bit more.
Can I say there is a lot of fucking jocks going and watching these movies now?
Good. Hope they like them.
I don't know if that's good.
Indigator on Twitter says, I think I've waited my whole life for this movie. After juggling multiple for juggling multiple stories and characters, I thought it was a really cohesive narrative, which I agree with. Even though I was prepared for the ending, I was not prepared for the emotional impact, especially Peter dying. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So
That's very Doctor Who-ish,
Wow.
though.
Peter
even
dying.
the line he says.
Yeah, anybody that watches Doctor Who is like,
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Peter dying.
Wait.
There were people. I mean, the first night there were people crying in the theater.
So-
Yeah.
That was brutal. Him because it took so
Ryan,
long.
you're dead inside.
to
It's
fade.
not dead inside. It's
We know there's Homecoming 2. And
anyone that knows,
stuff.
right, knows that these characters aren't dead. That said, the Peter moment was pretty powerful. The rest of them, they just kind of fade away, and you're like, well, I mean, we know where this goes. That's one of the problems
Peter
of
also
knowing
works
the source
because
material.
He's a kid.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
asking,
Yeah.
asking for help, and
Right.
that works just so well with Tony.
Right.
Stark, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, no. The best one was Peter, because everyone else just sort of go, right?
Yep.
And there was actually something really cool about Vision and Scarlet Witch being there, and Vision was dead, and then Scarlet Witch also going away. You're like, okay, that's kind of fucked up. Edgar Moreno says, I almost
but
cried.
these are together.
The Nick Fury one where he's like, mother, and he
that's
couldn't
great.
finish his line.
Yeah, Edgar says, I almost cried when Peter died. This is from Julian Titus. He says, do you think the audiences may respond poorly to Ant-Man and the Wasp's lighter tone immediately after Infinity War?
If they do, I don't care.
But Gabriel does say, personally, in a movie like that, after Deadpool 2 after Infinity War, I need a palate cleanser. So,
Well, Deadpool 2 will definitely cleanse your palate. With what?
Cleanse your
With what? We're
colon
not
and
quite
your-
sure, but it'll be a cleanser.
It's called the Cable Movie.
movie.
Leonardo
Would
says,
you like to talk about the trailer? Oh, too late.
Leonardo says, insane,
Kill you.
spectacular, and more moving than I thought possible. The action was top notch, the CGI impeccable, except for the Banner Hulkbuster bit. And yeah, that is the one. I don't know if that was just a last minute thing or that. Of all, the CGI was amazing in this movie. That was the one weird outlier.
It looked weird, right?
It did look
his
weird.
head-
Yeah.
Yeah, his head looked too
I
big
mean-
for the freaking Hulkbuster armor.
I mean, it's not like they had to take a mustache off him or anything like that, but it did look a little weird.
But wasn't there an action figure of the Hulk in that
Yeah.
armor?
Yep.
So, if you had to make an
Oh, yeah.
educated guess,
There is a pop. Of
no,
the
but
Hulk-
I would
of the Hulk
guess
busting out.
it looks weird because it's a banner composited where there was once a Hulk.
Could be. I don't know. Again, do you think they changed their mind last minute? And Banner,
possibly.
that scene of all them running was in the movie, and they were like, "Fuck, let's just take Bruce out, or let's just take Hulk out."
$4 million budget, and we're like, "Oh, we can't put more Hulk in here."
$400 million.
No, it costed them way more to take out Hulk and put Bruce back in.
Imagine.
Well, I don't
it costs
even
$25 million to remove a mustache. How much does it take to remove a Hulk?
You
Right?
already used that joke once.
It's a different joke though.
At this point,
Is it
having
though?
the Hulk or having him in the armor was essentially the same thing, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, they may have saved some on not having to do facial expressions and such, but so I don't think that was it. I think they just decided that it made a better character arc to
not have because the thing is what we get from Bruce Banner in this film is Bruce comes into his own and he's the hero. He's the one that does something. It's not the Hulk that does something in this one. So in the next movie, that's when hopefully we kind of get like what you said earlier, Jim, the smart Hulk, where we kind of get this blend.
Great Hulk.
Leonardo.
Be real about this shit.
Leonardo continues. The balance of characters was well done, and the comedy was a hair length in the too much direction, but great nonetheless. Dee Baroldi says, no other comic book movie comes close in scale or execution. Infinity War easily has 10 moments cooler than Superman making eye contact with the Flash. Sorry, Ryan. Here is the question. Disregard the Justice League bit. I love this movie.
No, that's what we want to talk about.
I love this movie. I love this
That's
movie.
what we want to talk about.
Did this movie have like that many killer individual, like that holy shit moment? There were a couple, but it just as a whole movie, it's. I don't know that there were like that one scene where everyone comes out like that was the scene. I felt like this just had a lot of amazing sequences. I agree with that. Kevin Sharp agrees.
I love the Superman Flash moment.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
not to talk about Justice League. I'll just do a comparison. In the first Avengers movie, when Hulk hammers Thor, they're in the helicarrier. Thor wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, looks down and sees blood, and smiles, knowing that he's got to fight. That is such a great character. I still think about that. And how long ago was the first Avengers? I still think about that moment.
We don't have the scene in this movie of the camera going around the entire team for the first time. Like, to me, that was like, that gave me chills in the first movie.
Yeah, this, as I said at the very beginning, this is a big, awesome, technically amazing, best-made Marvel movie, period. It didn't have the small character moments that I love in some of the others.
Yep.
But as far as the scope and the, to use the word again, awesomeness, this is by far the best.
Yep.
Well, for me, it just comes back to this was a Thanos movie.
Yep.
If you kind of look at everybody else as primarily character backdrops and stuff to push Thanos' story ahead, you had a lot of those kind of memorable scenes, but with Thanos instead of with a group, between sort of the getting the gauntlet all together, the snapping the fingers, the little Gamora, like there were tons of very good, powerful scenes, and there were good scenes
Gamora
with the
hands holding onto Thanos.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like most of the really character-driven scenes that weren't really being pushed ahead by a lot of little comedic elements, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed a lot of the comedy in the movie, but most of the character interactions relied very heavily on comedy elements, that kind of stuff. So you didn't get the strong character interactions that you had in the first two Avengers movies.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like I think the scene where Superman turns and looks at Flash, it's not a funny scene.
No.
It's just a scene where you're showing the power levels of these two characters in regards to speed and in regards to what's going on. And I think that we didn't have that in Infinity Gauntlet on that level. We had a lot of great scenes, a lot of cool scenes, but we didn't have that pinnacle like, oh shit.
Ignacio says Infinity War.
By the way, for the record, I fucking totally disagree with you guys. This had a fucking ton of awesome moments. The moment The moment with, I just need more time to think about it, but the moment where Cap appears from behind the train was a fucking
and catches that spear.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was awesome. The fucking when he catches Thanos' gauntleted hand.
Yeah.
That was fucking like you guys are fucking high as a kite if you don't think that there was an awesome moment like the Flash being seen by Superman. Like, go fuck yourselves.
Ignacio says, Infinity War definitely sucked the CGI budget of every movie released within the past year. The way Thanos moved and fought was seamless, totally skipped over the uncanny valley. He was just punching stuff. He had to wait in presence. Also, there were like 20 special effects studios in the credits for this movie. Do you think the video gamey feel of some of these superhero movies have had in the past 2 years is due to Infinity War?
Because Infinity War hired every studio.
3 and 4, just taking over all available resources. And I 100% think that's true. Yeah. The credits was like, Leanne commented, she's like, fucking hell, this never ended.
Like, did every person working in CG work on this film?
Basically, yeah, there were so many companies. And it used to be like, you have your in-house studio and that's who does it. Now it's like, shit, we need everyone.
It kind of explains, like you said, like you went to it, it kind of explains why we were complaining about some CGI in Black Panther and Civil War. And,
not all of us were, by the way.
I have to say we also came a really long way where we watch a movie with a giant purple dude and a little green kid and actually feel for both of them.
Yep.
I'm like, I was sitting in the theater going, all these people are watching a movie with a giant purple dude and there's a little green girl and everybody's like dead center quiet about it, and I was like, they're feeling for it. I was like, we've come a long way.
Thanos is mad. He is insane.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like,
you cannot argue. You cannot argue.
Could you imagine, like, 20 years ago, a purple makeup dude walking around the whole theater, like, taking it serious?
You can't. I mean, you can, but his logic is. I mean, from a warped view, his logic is sound.
Yeah, but I don't consider him as unhinged in this as I do in the comic books.
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah.
Cisco says, thumbs up for the Return of the Red Skull. Hell yeah. Disappointing Psy for not being Hugo Weaving. But
he sounded just like him.
There was no choice.
Yeah.
Really.
Not as versed on Thanos as I thought with regards to his backstory depicted in the movie, but it was an awesome take, handled better than expected. Keith says, I was so impressed with the characters who were allowed to take center stage. Besides Thanos, this was Doctor Strange, Gamora, and Thor's film, which I actually agree with. Doctor Strange was in more of this than I anticipated. But just enough if everyone else was there. The story dictated which characters we saw. Something that could have been messy unfolded effortlessly. Gabriel says, how far-fetched is this movie to be put for an Oscar contention?
No.
For visual effects, very possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, for anything else, absolutely not. But that's just how the Oscars are. So... Did I tell you that I'm going to make the Liefelds? I'm going to make a comic book.
You don't think the score could be possible?
No.
Why not?
I'm going to make the Liefelds. No. It's a comic book industry award for stuff that sells really well that smart people hate. It's going to be the anti-Eisners.
Well, you have to ask.
So,
you're
mentioning
Liefeld.
that in context of this. Does that mean this is a nominee for a Liefeld?
This could be this is definitely nominated for the Liefelds.
Oh, so smart people would hate this.
Liefeld movie of the year.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of skip around here a little bit.
So
I don't know if Bryce heard anything.
I did. I just
realized
saw his joke
something.
when he posted it 24 hours ago, and it was moderately funny then.
If I had to,
not funny now.
Okay.
If I had to do a prediction, I kind of understand now why they changed the part 1, part 2. Because if you do consider this a Thanos movie, I expect the next movie to be more of an Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
Like, if this was not... If the next movie is really Avengers 3, and this was the Thanos movie setting up Avengers 3...
This was Avengers 2.75.
Well, it was part 1, part 2. It wasn't part 1, part 2. You know,
but
back
think
and forth. Think
about the narrative.
They completely messed up the audience because they don't know whether to expect an end or not, or a good end or a bad end.
But if you view this as Thanos' story, it did have a beginning, middle, and an end.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity not calling it Avengers v Thanos.
Wow.
Anybody?
Whoa.
No? Oh.
And that's why I'm just saying.
Higgins
I do believe the next Avengers movie will be very different.
Now, do we think Adam Warlock's going to show up in Avengers 4?
No, they already said this.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be in
hurts
Guardians.
a little.
Robert says, love the movie from beginning to end. Extremely excited for part 2. Love the character interactions.
See, part 2.
If you guys could pick an interaction to add between two characters that were separated in this movie, who would it be?
Cap and Iron Man. I really want that.
No.
I want that.
Well, yeah.
They built up everything with Civil War and all that.
Oh,
They've been separated.
they're on the outs.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll come
I want-
together in the next movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I know.
That was definitely I hear what you're saying, but that was definitely intentional, intentionally left out of
I
this movie.
completely agree. It was intentionally left out of this movie, but that is a scene I'm still waiting for now.
You are uncharacteristically wrong tonight. I'm not sure if that gauntlet, you know, what's going on over there.
I
but,
don't care.
Hawkeye
I'm
and
waiting
Ant-Man
for that
would be
scene.
my answer. So
okay.
I really love Hawkeye. I'm so mad that he's not in this movie. I really hope he's in the
Why
next
wasn't
movie.
he in this movie, by the way?
He's going to show up with the West Coast Avengers in the next movie.
I swear to God, before this movie, I would have bet anybody a sizable amount of money that Hawkeye would be in this movie and Spider-Man would not be.
I mean,
and they would have been like, just watch a trailer.
In
idiot.
the movie, there is a reason why Ant-Man and Hawkeye are not in this movie. Why they are not in this movie, I don't know. Like from a real world
didn't they
point of
say
view.
it?
I'm
Like
guessing
family
it's
stuff?
just
Right. In the
no.
movie, there is a reason, but there's no reason they weren't in the movie.
So-
it must be because they were filming Ant-Man. He just
no.
couldn't do
I
it.
doubt
or-
it. My
Yeah, they have to be in 4. There's no way they're not in 4.
Yeah,
They already,
and that,
they already
that's
got
what I
pictures
figured.
of Jeremy Renner, and actually, his costume looks very reminiscent of a Ronin.
So the way I kind of look at it is this.
Not like this.
They talk about when making this movie, they put up every single character on the board, and then they probably went, these are the characters we're going to highlight in the 4th one. These are the characters we're going to utilize in the 3rd one. And I think anybody that you're sitting there going why weren't they in this movie is because they might have had a cameo in this movie where they're going to be a bigger player in the next.
Also, the deleted scenes, I'm curious to see if any of the... it wouldn't be Hawkeye or Ant-Man, but if any of the tertiary characters from the movies made it into the deleted scenes.
It would be funny if Ant-Man and Wasp is like Simone and Pumbaa, or no, Lion King number 1.5, where it's the whole movie over, but from their point of view.
Here's one from Jake, and I swear it's not my sock puppet account. He says, so Infinity War is like a cardboard cake, pretty to look at, but hollow inside. Feels about the same as Justice League, but has a little more flair. If it was called The Rise of Thanos, it would have worked better. So there you go. Swear that's not me.
Is this Teacher Jay?
No. It's also Jake. Tom says...
Hey, is he wearing khakis?
Tom, what?
Is he wearing khakis?
I don't know what that means. Tom says, Ryan, after seeing how fantastic Marvel stuck the landing with this movie, does it make you want a shared DC movie universe more or less? I mean, of course, more. I just want it better done, you know?
Well, I think
we all know.
I think we all
Except
can
for
agree.
you, seemingly.
We all can agree.
I think
Marvel.
you have a unanimous agreement with that
I
off
think
the
we
table.
all can agree. Marvel Studios should just do DC movies. DC TV should just do Marvel TV.
Should.
And
Switch.
DC should just do Marvel Comics because
It's waiting for Bryce.
I'm waiting
Oh.
for...
Perfect one. This is why. He says, with the Russo brothers mentioning the next title of the Avengers movie being a spoiler attached to the name, what do you guys think the movie name is?
Heroes Reborn.
I kind of assumed Disassembled.
I saw in the Facebook group, which I agree with most, Avengers Forever.
I can see Avengers Forever.
Rebirth.
Avengers the End. I mean Marvel the End, right? But I mean, I don't know what would. I mean, it would have to be something like Annihilation for it to be like a direct spoiler to a villain and plot, or it would have to be
West Coast Avengers the beginning.
Infinity Crusade.
God.
Yeah.
Oh God, no! Fuck.
Well, it already is called Infinity War, and it doesn't have Magus, so it's already wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Infinity Lost.
Cisco says, great movie.
It would make perfect sense because Hawkeye would start the West Coast Avengers to save everybody.
Thanos Quest.
Thanos Quest. Well, again, what Avengers title could I mean? I have no idea. I honestly don't know what could be considered a spoiler that would ruin.
Oh, I totally know what they're going to call
Rise
it.
of the Silver Surfer.
No, I totally know what they're going to call it. It's going to take a note from Fast and Furious, and it's going to be called Avengers 4.
A4. Cisco says,
Hopefully, it's not 8-2.
great movie. Thought the Guardian scenes were the weak points, mostly due to the Volume 2 like writing and tone. In my opinion, Pratt's emotional scene at the end didn't land because it didn't have the room to breathe with all the distractions, while Holland nailed his goodbye. Fantastic ending.
Who was that? Cisco.
Cisco. Yeah.
James Gunn did actually write all the Guardians dialogue for this movie.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why it feels like that.
Yeah. Let's see, Galactus Jones, and his avatar is him with the gauntlet. He says this cements the fact that Thor is MCU's best hero. Correct? Thor is fucking badass in this
Thor
movie.
is fucking phenomenal.
You know what? They keep calling Rocket Rabbit is fucking
I know, that's great.
So back when everyone hated Thor before Ragnarok,
Never hated Thor.
all the normal people hated
Okay,
Thor.
normals hate Thor.
I was
Except all
like,
the girls.
what's wrong with
Except
you
Bryce,
people?
he hates
Thor
Captain
is
America.
so good. And so this finally, I want to be like, this is Thor. Forget Ragnarok. This is Thor.
Yeah.
Dude, when he goes on and just hammers Thanos right in the chest, or axes Thanos right.
How good is Eitri? How good?
He's cool. It's fun. That's
Peter
fun.
Dinklage is a freaking dwarf. As a freaking the dwarf.
Oh, yeah.
Eitri,
Yeah.
that was fantastic.
Like when that character pops on the screen, you're like, oh, it's like a giant. What the? And it's what? And then you see it's just Peter Dinklage supersized. You're like, oh, okay, that works.
Tender Brew says, why make any more movies? It was perfect. There you go.
There you go.
Should have been my review.
Oh boy, here comes Casey. Here comes our boy Casey. He says, does anything matter? We know it's all going to get reversed. Am I feeling superhero fatigue?
Yes, and
Yes,
yes.
James Cameron, you are. James Cameron, who has made multiple freaking franchise movies, is bitching about the superhero movies.
James
wearing
Cameron
out.
is
Because the bar is now so high. For
He
him.
wants to make
He's just-
5 Avatar movies and keep on doing Terminator movies.
He's just mad because he missed
A
out on
lot of-
Spider-Man now.
A lot of old school directors and producers have been vocal recently about frustration between Rotten Tomatoes and all sorts of stuff recently. It's just the
It's
industry's
just- it's
changing
just
in
the
ways
steel
that
people
isn't
bitching.
necessarily.
Just like us.
Pensive Bird says, hey, Charlie, you can use that Infinity Gauntlet glove to make a good Suicide Squad movie.
Oh. We're waiting for your
I'm
answer.
going to golf clap for
Hey,
Pensive
there's only
Bird.
so much an Infinity Gauntlet can do. So
I still need to go home and watch Hell to
When
Pay.
it fell in deaf ears.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. So, I mean, that's I mean, I'm getting a lot of other stuff here, but yeah, that's kind of it for the questions.
Should we letter
What's
grade
the
it?
other stuff that you skipped?
the opening,
No, I mean,
the opening scene of Avengers 4 should be all the omnipotent freaking beings of the universe
gonna do that.
converging about Thanos.
They're never going to do that.
It should be eternity, living tribunal.
They're never going to do
freaking-
that.
No,
A
what
couple Celestials in there, all of them.
what I think you're going to see as the opening
And
scene
Cap.
for Avengers 4
And Cap.
is a larger
Not
scope
4.
of half of the world's wiped
That-
out. So you
that's-
see
Charlie wants his multiple movies. I think we're going to get the first 5 minutes. It's going to be like the opening of
Yeah, that's going to be
Justice-
my nitpick.
Well,
League.
Calling it out.
BVS,
That's going to be my
BVS.
nitpick.
What?
The first
Yeah.
5 minutes that I want to be movies as well.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes is going to be like the opening of BVS,
Yeah.
where it shows like the destruction of Metropolis and everything,
that's
right?
going to be my nitpick.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now.
That you want that or you don't want
No,
it?
that I want fucking 5 movies out of it.
Oh, instead of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you're going to see Hawkeye with his family as part of his family
Yeah,
vanishes.
disappears.
Oh, no.
You're
Who
gonna
was-
see-
His
Who played-
family, his family's going to be back.
Who was the guy who played a part of the Nova Corps who had the family? He said he saved my family.
John C. Riley.
John C.
Or-
Riley.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody posted they wanted to whenever Xandar fell, they wanted to see John C. Riley
Him some
with
wreck
his
some
family, and just dusted.
Yeah.
Him wrecking some stuff after?
And I mean, I think that's what you're
He's
going to see.
dusted.
I think you're going to see the larger scope of what happened.
I mean, you see the Guardian's face whenever he said Xandar's gone.
yeah.
I'm really curious if they're going to have Captain Marvel play that big of a role in the next movie. I mean, they're kind of setting that up, but I guess we just don't know where's she going to come from. What's she going to do? What's she going to bring? Does she bring?
I'm assuming she's out in space.
Yeah, it should bring
Especially
like
because the
space
pager
Alpha flight.
didn't
And her-
look like a normal.
No.
Maybe she's out in space with the Fantastic Four. She's going to bring it
Well,
back.
should she bring Sword down or something?
Or she's an emissary to the Kree, or who knows
Yeah.
what she's doing.
Yeah.
I think that we would have seen sword referenced already, though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin wants to know: do we want to official letter grade this thing? Because I think I'm ready to give him my spot. on
A
my list.
plus, number 1.
I think I'm ready to give it my spot on my list.
With an Infinity Stone.
With an Infinity Stone,
you
yeah,
done that
with a
yet?
cherry and
Not even a
Infinity
gem.
Stone.
An Infinity
I
Stone.
figured I'd save it for this. I wanted to give it some thought. Bryce, I mean, on your list, where does this rank? What like?
Man, it's
You
so
go back
tough
and
because
forth
I
on this.
really thought so. Avengers has been my number one, and that's because
This
I
is
would
the
give
MCU
it
list.
Yes,
Just-
I would give
just
it.
clarify
I would
for
give
the
it a
audience.
standalone A and an in-universe A. This one, I mean, you can't judge it standalone, right? But I mean, such as it is, I would have to give it an A plus. Number one movie. I cannot believe that they did it. It is a turning point in cinema history. I don't think that that's too hyperbolic. I think that it's a turning point in pop culture franchise's history. Yeah, so I give it number one, A plus. I
Who
dropped
else?
the mic, but it's on the stand.
Toby, Bryce. I mean, Toby.
I am Bryce.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I am
I'll
Toby.
I'll
Ding
give-
dong.
I'll give mine. You know, for me, we're in rarefied air up here.
So you like a Marvel movie?
There's a lot of Marvel movies on the top of the Marvel movie list, but this is up there. I'm gonna give it my number 2 spot. I think if Winter Soldier is 100, this is a 99. I mean, to me it is an A plus. It is right there. I think Winter Soldier is the Dark Knight of the MCU. I think Winter Soldier is just
But Infinity War had a far bigger challenge and far greater cast.
Yeah.
It's just too hard to do.
It's incredible that they pulled this off. You know, if you want to have that snooty voice in your head when you hear this, Infinity War is
snooty,
the
Ryan.
best movie. Winter Soldier is the best film. Right? It's that sort of bullshit where it's like.
I'll
To
buy
me,
that, actually.
to me, I give Winter Soldier just the a hair's edge,
Well, I'll buy that.
and I just love Winter Soldier so much. But this is the greatest comic book movie that has probably ever been made. Like the comic booky movie that has ever been made, and I don't know how you top this. I don't know what 4 can do. I feel like 4 can't live up to it.
And
I'm terrified.
Yeah, me too.
So
It's just like Deadpool 2
The Last Jedi?
No.
and Guardians 2.
It
I don't
would
know-
be.
I don't know how it could
your
be
your
good.
fear is if this is the Empire Strikes Back, 4 is going to be Return of the Jedi.
I fucking love Return of the Jedi.
I know,
But it's a different
I'm-
movie. It's a different
yes,
movie. It's a
yes.
different movie.
I think it'd be more different than disappointment.
Yeah.
So for me, the movie was an A, but I cannot rank it. I cannot solidify the grade because I need the resolution. I need the finale to the Gauntlet storyline. Like, to me, that is such a important part of how I can grade this movie right now that I can't solidify its place. I can't wait to see what happens in the next film, and it might elevate it much, much higher or not. I don't know.
No. Well, if the next one sucks, do you say this one's not good?
So I was talking
'Cause it's-
about. So
I'm not asking you specific
No,
here. I'm
but-
just
but-
asking the group.
I kind of compare this
it may,
to
may
the
change my mind on it.
Straczynski Spider-Man run. I loved it, but I have a hard time going
It's
back
bad.
to it
Yeah.
once it just.
But
A bad ending for something will really destroy
Yeah.
the build-up to it.
yeah.
And that
It's
for me is
it's
such a important part. Like, I want to be able to go, this is the most epic story I've ever seen. I want to watch both parts over and over and over.
yeah.
Like, I go back
Look,
to stuff like
we
that.
want this to end with them winning and everything back to normal, kinda, right? I mean, isn't that what we want? We don't want. I mean, you have some things can end and die and change, but we know where this goes, right?
We know where this goes to a degree, how they get there, and what has to be sacrificed to get there,
Yeah.
and how it's handled. Like,
It's got to be Cap. It has to be Cap.
that's the thing.
Which is why I
You're right.
feel it's
There's
weird.
a lot of expectations. There's a lot of going into it.
There's a
It's
lot of assumptions.
a lot of assumptions. They've
Yeah.
already blown away some of the assumptions I had
and they're
in
done.
general.
I mean, they filmed everything, right? It's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, it's
I
in
mean,
the
they'll
can.
do some
they're
pickups
in
or
post production
something.
and stuff now.
yeah.
But I mean, bottom line is, if they manage to do something of this quality in the next movie, it's going to blow away the rest of my list. It's going to take the number one spot. We talk occasionally about how Dark Knight's in its own sort of category.
Yeah.
This has the potential to do that for me.
Okay. I mean, I think my Dark Knight reached way outside the target audience. This is still hitting the target audience, which is now a humongous audience.
Yes.
But Dark Knight did something very different.
I know it did, but this, with the scale, with the scope, with the stuff they recreated directly from one of my favorite comic events of all time, if they can nail the resolution, it's sort of like the way that when I sit down and I think about watching Lord of the Rings, I never go, I'm just going to watch one of them. It's like I sit down and watch all of them.
Yeah. Well, The Hobbit it didn't ruin my love of Lord of the Rings, but it definitely was like, well, so much for that, you know? Yeah, it's real tough. It's good. But the original, awesome.
And that's kind of my point. That's just the way I work with this kind of stuff.
Yep.
I need, if the conclusion kills me for some reason, I'm not going to be able to go back and watch this all the time and get the same level of enjoyment.
So you're telling us you don't want to be buried with the gauntlet if it kills you.
Well, and again, I think with Winter Soldier,
I will probably punch the wall enough with the gauntlet that it will shatter if it kills me.
Again, I think why Winter Soldier to me stands on its own, sort of in that the MCU equivalent of Dark Knight is. It doesn't matter what Civil War did. It doesn't matter what Infinity Gauntlet did. It doesn't matter what Cap 1 was like. It doesn't matter what happens. Anything else. That movie stands alone so well.
And that's the way I look at a lot of the Marvel movies. I don't judge Iron Man 1 against Iron Man 2. Or Iron Man 1 is its own thing to me, and that works really well.
Sure.
The fact that this was...
I hate Iron Man 3, but I love 1 and 2. So, yeah, I do try to keep these things separate.
The way this sort of centers around Thanos and stuff, and the way that it sort of builds up this big cliffhanger makes it linked directly to the next Avengers to me. It's... I've had the oh shit cliffhanger, now I need the resolution of that cliffhanger.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, you think of this like Empire, that is a damn high bar to
I know, and that's
clear.
But when you get into the example of Empire again, when I think about watching Star Wars, I do think about watching the original trilogy.
All three in a row.
That kind
it's
of
one
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
That's
just
true.
how I approach it now.
Yeah. So, you guys got a grade? Do you want to throw anything else? Toby, you thinking? Want to watch it again?
Oh, I have to. I mean, it's like almost a 3-hour movie, so the rewatching might not be as easily as like a 1 hour and a half movie.
Yeah,
I'll definitely rewatch it again. I'll watch it twice, like Jim. For me, it's in the top 3.
Yeah,
for sure. I always been placing all of Marvel movies in 3s for some reason, like the top 3, the next 3, and the next 3, next 3. So, I don't know what bumps it though. To me, it's still Winter Soldier is up there. It doesn't get bumped off. Infinity War is up there, and then it's Black Panther or Guardians 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it might be Guardians 1 that gets bumped off because of the end.
Mm-hmm.
If it had a stronger end, maybe not, because I love the movie from beginning, and I like the emotional
scene.
The
dance off.
The fact that the dance off at the end. I mean, that's just kind of like, it fits the movie and fits the characters, but Black Panther had a little more oomph to it.
Yeah,
so
I like they make a callback to the dance off in this too.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Well, that was kind of a real funny.
Yeah.
Callback, but I think maybe Black Panther bumps Guardians off. So the second 3 be Guardians, Iron Man 1. And something else, which I haven't figured out yet. But yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't talked numbers yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you love your little fucking numbers.
Let's talk about Justice League versus Avengers Infinity War. How about 17? How about in the 17 weeks Justice League has made $650 million.
You know why Ryan's quiet right now?
And
do you know why he's quiet right now?
Over the 3-day weekend,
on the internet?
No.
Over the 3-day weekend, Avengers made $630 million internationally.
Guess why he's quiet right now? He's going to cut you out.
No,
$250 million domestic, $380 million international.
Yeah, so
I thought Jim was on this podcast.
So Avengers. 250 domestic. I think I saw like 253 maybe.
But that's
Disney's.
without China, right?
Well, that's
No, yeah.
U.S.
U.S.
Yeah.
I saw like
Yeah,
258.
domestic.
That's not so. There's no foreign at all in that.
250 million. Yeah.
200. What I thought I read 253, but I don't know. Disney may not have put out their official numbers yet. To date, Box Office Mojo says 282. That's Thursday through Tuesday. The foreign opening weekend without China was what's this? If I can add, basically just like 380 million. We're currently at 725 million worldwide. That includes through Tuesday.
That's 5
And
days.
I
That's 5 days.
Yeah, and I believe.
I think James Cameron's just jealous.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Big time.
Well,
Big
all his
time.
records are being broken. Now he has to hit. He's like, you're never going to be.
Well,
able to
I believe I read it was the highest grossing IMAX movie of all time. I don't know if you guys looked. Very few 3D showings of this, at least locally. They're really cutting down on those 3D shows. Thank God.
Yes, I agree. I did not.
But they're cranking up the IMAX and the bigger ones because that's such a much better experience. I'd rather pay $18 for IMAX over 3D.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I believe China
Not
opens.
at the cost for them turning down the volume on the normal screen.
I believe China opens soon next
May
week, 2
11th.
weeks. Yeah, it's pretty soon. So there's been talk of
I don't
Infinity
know if
War.
it's going to do as well over there, though.
I don't know. I mean, they love their big superstars and they love their big team ups.
But they don't like the villains winning.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
I don't
true.
know how. Yeah, I don't
Might
know.
not work. Well, they're clearing $1 billion by next weekend either way.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna. Like the question is, does it top Force Awakens? Does it top Black Panther?
Well, the question is, does it actually match?
That or there
itself?
The question
Really
is,
well done.
when will it top Force Awakens? When will it top? It's going to. There's
domestically,
no way.
domestically, it might not top Black Panther. Black Panther domestically is in another level.
Wakanda forever.
Black Panther is okay. So Black Panther was the number 5 movie this weekend. This past weekend.
it was in the top
That's
5, and that's the
crazy.
only time.
It's
the only time
shot back up.
2 Marvel
That
movies
is
have been
crazy.
It's still in the theater, and it went up to the number 5 movie because
But you know why?
It's still in the
Because people
theater.
are-
The Blu-ray
people haven't
comes out
seen it yet.
2 weeks.
And people are telling them, hey, look, you need to go see Black Panther. You know, you need to see Thor before Thor leads directly into this in the first minutes. So,
yeah, I
Just read the Wikipedia
I think
page
Black Panther's more
yeah,
relevant than
told that to
Thor.
people too.
for Thor. Watch
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Black Panther internationally is done very well. It did 645 international, which is very good.
It was the first,
but it's done 688 domestically, which movies don't make that much here. That
Black
is
Panther was
very.
the first movie to go to Iran, right? Iraq.
I don't know.
I think it's Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. That was one. Yeah,
Movies don't make 700 million domestic. That just doesn't happen very often.
I don't know.
So internationally, okay, so it very well is going to beat the foreign number. I think that's very likely. It very well could beat the worldwide number. There's a decent chance of it. The domestic number, I really don't know. Black Panther again is unlike any movie we've seen in recent years. So we just don't know. If we go all time, I wonder.
I know. I'm calling it. It's going to happen.
I wonder all time. Do they have a? I wonder if they
I mean,
have
we
a.
also never had a movie that's 18 movies in. Like, it's just crazy that this.
Oh, did you see the letter from Lucasfilm?
Yeah,
to Marvel about congratulations
You mean
on
from
all your
Disney to
success
Disney?
and everything. From, yeah.
I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I like how they plan it very small. Like, we'll do 4 heroes and, a movie after that, and then we'll just scale it from there. And the fact that we're at this point is just nuts.
Yeah.
Ryan, can I put you on the spot while you're looking?
Yeah, of course.
Thinking of part 4, did The Last Jedi retroactively make you like The Force Awakens less?
I'll answer for him. It didn't. Because I fucking love Force Awakens.
It made me less interested in the
Yes.
third movie.
I'm far more
It made
excited
me
for Solo, though.
It made me way more excited for Han Solo.
Solo looks fucking amazing.
I think it does actually look really
and the
good.
Mother of Dragons. Woohoo!
Okay, so Force Awakens did 936 domestic, Avatar did 760, and Black Panther did 688. Titanic did 659, Jurassic World did 652 domestic, Avengers did 623. So, I mean, this could, it's possible that this could hit Avengers number or Jurassic World. It blows me away how well that movie did. That's crazy, crazy numbers. I mean, I think there's a very good chance it could hit those numbers.
Did we lose the mighty giant?
Yes.
Charlie had to take off. He said goodbye. You didn't see him.
Gauntlet.
He did take his gauntlet.
He took the steam out of this podcast.
Well, here is the biggest thing that Black Panther had going forward, and here's the biggest thing that's going against Avengers. There's a shitload of movies coming out in the next few months. And as great as Avengers is, people can only go to the movies so much.
Yeah.
We have Han Solo. We have Deadpool.
We have Deadpool next, then Han Solo. Like,
they're all gonna kind of cannibalize themselves a little bit.
yeah.
Black Panther had 2 solid months of nothing, with just lines for weeks.
Well, it had like The Wrinkle in Time came out one, but that was
just
it
flopped on like Black Panther's
that went like this.
Like Black Panther's like 4th week beat Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
Like
More like a fart in time.
yeah,
Right?
So
No? Oh,
I
all
think
sorry.
it's
too soon.
I'll walk away.
again. Is Avengers front loaded? You know, do we see a 60% drop off next weekend?
Don't say that. No,
I probably
We
not.
could. I mean,
No,
we
I have
could.
a feeling that some of the normals gonna grab the other normals. Going, you have to watch these movies, so we're gonna see a little drop down, and all of a sudden it's gonna come back up.
Black
because they're all
Panther
gonna be caught up at that
Black
point.
Panther played for the normals.
Yeah.
I don't know what normal. Brock, you
I was at the
You had
at
an experience.
my theater. Besides the guy that was being escorted out by security
Yeah,
at
what
the
happened
beginning,
with-
I don't know. I think the guy snuck in with his family or something, or there was a
okay.
problem with the guy. Security was asking him to leave, and he was being all crazy. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, if I have to go out there and knock him the fuck out so I can watch this movie, I will.
I want to be able to not hear my fucking movie.
Like, so I'm watching the movie, and after everything's over, the end credits have rolled. There's a lady sitting next to me, like one seat over. She's like, "What the fuck was that?" She was just, she's like livid. She was pissed. She was like, "This isn't how it's." She turns to me and goes, "Did you expect that?" I'm like, "Yeah," and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, that's how it needed
one of my
to go."
friends, one of my friends, he turned to me and he goes, the kids were like, "Oh, blah blah's gonna die, blah blah's gonna die." He goes, "They're not gonna die, right, Toby? That's not how they're gonna move." I'm like, what if all reality ceases to exist? He just kind of looked at me with a blank face. I'm like, no way they're gonna pull that off. I'm like. He goes, and then he goes, "Seriously, is that what's happening?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to tell you." But
I had friends coming up to me at work going, "How can they do that? They got another Black Panther movie coming, another Spider-Man movie
I
coming."
for one, been wanting movies to end this way for a long time now. I kind of always want to see a Batman movie where at the end of the movie he gets his back broken.
Yeah.
And it just ends at that point.
Yeah,
because so this is kind of like my Bane ending that I always wanted.
Yeah, I don't actually know what normals think of this. I mean, Cinema Scores it's 84 on Rotten Tomatoes. That seems good, but it's also this hardcore nerds at this point. It's possible that, they are not going back for a second viewing or telling their friends to watch it.
The other thing is,
I just don't know.
I think we've lost the pool of normals that we have.
There are no normals.
Because so many people have been exposed to these movies. I mean, you have 18 fucking movies. Like, you haven't seen a Marvel movie in the past decade. What rock are you living under, right?
I mean, I know a couple of people that aren't into them at all and don't watch them.
Yeah, but they've probably seen
They're the
one
minority.
or
they've seen a handful of them and just decided it's not for them. But
I have my little cousin. I hung out with her and her friends, and they're just tired of them. They're like kind of done. They're like lost track of the movies. They're just done. They have no interest in them anymore.
So we won't know. Give us a month. We'll start looking at numbers again. And,
all right.
But I know, Jim. It's already the most successful, one of the most successful movies of all time.
Yeah.
It's not gonna like drop 89% next
I'm
week.
not being dissuaded at all. I'm going to go see it again. Easy.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to see it again.
Jim's going to try and make sure it doesn't have that 60 to 80%
That's right.
drop.
Take my money.
Yeah, I mean, anything over a 50% drop is generally considered not. 55 is kind of your bad spot and up, and I think. Some of these movies, like Justice League, that had that terrible second weekend drop, and BVS. I mean, those are dropped huge numbers because bad word of mouth. Obviously, this has, at least from the fan perspective, great word of mouth. So I expect anyone that
Oh, I know people that avoided going this weekend
to go
when it's slower.
Yeah,
so I think you'll see you'll still see a drop next weekend.
Well, obviously,
but you're not going to see as.
It's like Star Wars. Their second and third weekends are still outrageous.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still pulling in 9 figures. So, yeah, that's Infinity War. Any last thoughts? Anyone?
Eternity, Living Tribunal, Celestials,
West Coast Avengers,
Chronos,
Scarlet Witch,
Jim,
Hawkeye, War Machine.
Me and you want that. They're never going to do that. That's just not.
And you thought the same thing about Infinity War. You thought
Moon Knight.
they would never get away.
Oh, I think you could do Gauntlet.
We thought about Infinity War like
minute 1.
Yeah, like
Thanos Gauntlet, Infinity War. That's Infinity Gauntlet, right?
We've been thinking about that for like a decade.
I just,
I've been wishing for it a lot longer than that.
They can talk about the Celestials. They can do stuff. Oh, obviously you had fucking what's his face, Ego, right? So
Yep.
I mean, they're not opposed to doing this, but it's not in the way that we see these characters through the comics. They're much more even the Collector, right?
I can dream.
And the Grandmaster, right? These are cosmic beings that in the movies are just played like regular dudes. So it's very different.
Yeah, I know, but I can dream my eternity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful for the next one.
Yeah,
but again, the bar is really high right now,
crazy high.
So
and it's funny if you go back and watch Iron Man 1 or Avengers or some of those first couple ones.
I just did.
They're very small movies.
Yeah.
Oh, Iron Man 1 is still awesome.
Oh, I love them, but just the scope is just. It's crazy how far we've come in 10 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Insane.
Yep.
All right, that's Avengers Infinity War. I'm assuming everyone liked it. If you're listening to this podcast and you're 2.5 hours in, you probably liked it.
We also might have a lot of new listeners because of a little article on geek.com.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we got brought up as a comic podcast to listen to. So that's
and
cool.
while I was
That's
traveling,
nice.
I was pimping Geekbox and the Comic Conspiracy podcast to multiple stores across the Midwest.
Cool.
So,
They're all rolling their eyes at you right now. No, kidding.
Probably, yeah.
Larry over at Larry's.
I told him, I said, next Tuesday we're going to be doing our Infinity War podcast, so you need to listen to the review if you watched it.
Larry over at Larry's Comics plays this podcast unfiltered on Wednesdays. So
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
In the
oh my
store.
God!
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, customers, for all the swearing.
No.
I apologize for Bryce right now.
Yeah.
It's
I am sorry too.
What are you talking about?
How many times has Larry?
This episode hit the E tag way before Bryce ever got there. By the way,
Yes.
By the
Thank
way,
you, and you're welcome. I can make up for
those-
it right now.
Those
No.
ding dongs, we were actually just bleeping ourselves.
yeah.
Fucking ding.
All right, let's thank some of our good Patreon
No,
backers.
wait. I want to know: has Larry had to replace his speakers numerous times because of?
Toby screaming and just popping.
Is he
popping
serious? He
figures.
plays this unfiltered in his store?
Yeah.
Really?
He's from Massachusetts. Nobody cares. Everyone swears there.
Okay.
That's where I grew up. Foul mouths.
So you're telling me if I randomly walk into a store, I might hear this podcast being played?
You might, yeah.
That's going to be so...
Or if you randomly walk into the store and start talking, somebody might go, "Toby."
Sorry for the spoilers, guys. If you haven't heard the podcast, what are you doing at a comic store on Wednesday after movie release? Like, plug your ears and, I don't know.
I wonder if at that comic book store, it's literally he's playing the podcast and it's the same conversation as real people
having in the store. Yeah. We're going to thank all our good friends for Patreon. Patreon posts in the day or two, so for all the May backers, we'll get you guys next week. Albert Soy has Canby, which is a digital. What am I talking about here? I don't have the thing in front of me. It's a digital
rewards.
gift cards reward program. You can
or a
have
character on Black Lightning.
that as well. You can. That's Gamby.
Oh,
the
fine.
G.
Correct me.
You can go and pick up some gift certificates for Comics Conspiracy. Go download the Canby app.
Can you use it?
I will
for
say
our
extra
online
thank
store?
you to Mr. Albert Soy because without him, I would have not seen this at 6 o'clock.
Oh yeah, he hooked you up there. So
Yeah.
did you get the little
Yeah,
little
the coin.
coin? Yeah.
you want one?
No, it's fine.
Because I didn't realize he already picked up the coins, right?
Oh.
So I went in, and the dude wouldn't give me a coin.
What?
So I was like, give me the fucking coin. And then he got scared, so he gave me the fucking coin. I walk in and sit down, and then I would go, here's your coin. I'm like, oh.
I'm sorry.
I felt a little bad at that point.
I'll take the coin. I'll collect the whole set.
Yeah.
I'll take the
Yeah,
coin.
all right.
I'll trade you an orb for it.
An orb.
Julian Titus.
Julian Titus has
With
the
an
Nerds
Infinity
About
Stone in
Pants
it.
podcast, and he did ask for a special plug this week. Beyond, obviously,
Besides having no pants,
we're plugging Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixabit.com, but
no pants.
they're also doing their Avengers spoiler cast on Friday. So go listen to what Julian and his friends think about Avengers over at
I think it'll
pixelbit.com
be positive.
on Friday.
Spoiler.
Brian Hess has Blowhards, a video game podcast. That's at blowhards.libsyn.com.
He's also going to talk about the Avengers.
Probably,
Spoiler.
yeah. It's a video game podcast, but I'm sure they're talking about
Yeah.
Avengers. Check
Did you
out Jody
talk
Lo-
about Avengers on the Geekbox last night?
No. So last
That
time
was
in
a
the
special
Geekbox,
episode.
yeah, the special
Okay, so-
episode.
A little more
All right.
special.
Yes, yeah.
More special than the Avengers.
Yeah,
I understand
a little
that.
different. yep.
There was a 50-50 shot.
Next
No.
week on Geekbox,
Okay,
we're going to
cool.
talk Avengers.
Awesome.
Not allowed.
Jesus.
Red card.
Jody
all
Lawson.
nerd podcasts is going to be Avengers for like 2 weeks.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Jody Lawson's canon, Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicstudios.com. And our good friends Sam Che, Craig Anderson, Joe Duff, Andrew Nelson Mendez, and Darfox8 over at the Manga Machinations podcast. Thank you guys all very much. And everyone that contributes to this podcast via Patreon at patreon.com/comicconspiracy. I appreciate all
you.
the little donations you guys give us every month. And next week we'll have new backers to read. Maybe we'll get Bryce to read them again, or Toby, or someone else. We'll see.
you're lucky.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Are we doing the Cable trailer review next week?
Yeah, we'll talk about Deadpool next week, maybe. The one week Toby's not here, so we'll talk about it.
Wow.
Wait, Deadpool's out next week?
No.
Fucking
No,
bullshit.
Deadpool's out,
Shit.
like-
Comicsconspiracy.biz has been updated to be our entire online storefront for physical comics. You can get mailed if you have a Comixology account. If you have a Comic Hub account, let's try that again. Those will be merged very soon. I think it's this week. It's very soon.
So if they do want to create an account, go through Comics Hub.
No, you can create an account and make purchases right now
Okay.
via comicsconspiracy.biz. We're slowly getting our inventory up, so it's not 100% there, but we've made some good
I'll
progress.
tell you what's a lot more fun, though, is
that?
either coming into the store and yell at Ryan for 2 hours and
Sure,
then
of
go
course.
order me the stuff.
Sure.
Or you call him on the phone and yell at him for 2 hours and then say, order me the
It's
stuff.
not on a Wednesday, please.
Yeah.
Or Tuesday.
Or Tuesday, or a Monday, or a Friday, or a Saturday. Really, just never call me.
Going down
Call on Thursday or Sunday.
It's 2018. Why are you using the telephone? Like, just stop using the telephone.
Don't trust the hub is all I'm saying, because
Tweet
the hub
me.
will turn on you.
I'll respond way faster on Twitter than I will the phone.
All right,
okay?
fair enough. But don't do the hub because I'll ding dong at you.
When can we text the hub for our orders?
Very soon, I'm sure. We'll have much more. Right now, if you go to purchase a comic via comicsconspiracy.biz, it's going to charge you way too much for shipping, so don't do that. But check that very soon. Comicsconspiracypodcast.com is where you can find all our previous episodes. That actually just links to geekbox.net right now because our entire site's being changed over. So we'll get that back up soon. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz, that is where you can go to find your digital comics. And if you're going to the new comicsconspiracy.biz page, I'll be posting a new link once a week to the digital sales site at the top of the page. Right now it's a Green Lantern sale, so I'm using just one of their headers every week.
Nice.
Conspirator Brock, conspiratorbrock.com is Brock's blog and digital pull list video. You can a video pull list.
Video pull list,
Better way to word that. You can go watch his stuff there and on YouTube under Conspirator Brock.
Also, you can also pre-order ASM 800 sets right now. Can't you?
Yep. Yeah. One of the things on comicsconspiracy.biz is the Amazing Spider-Man 800 variant cover set, 13 covers celebrating Dan Slott's second to last issue of Amazing Spider-Man. Wanders in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That is Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. You can go check that out, as well as etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife Leanne's Etsy store. If you just search Leanne Hill Art, I'm sure you'll find it. She did a Spider-Man piece recently, a Women of Black Panther.
and a Poison Ivy.
She did a new Poison Ivy, yeah. So you can check all those out if you want to pick those up on Etsy. We're on Twitter, Ryan Higgins, Ryan, Brock Sager, Larsen, Bryce, Toby XI, Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store. Jim's LD Exterminator. Kevin Sharp is That Kevin Sharp. I think that's everyone.
Can I plug the comics blog?
Of course, absolutely.
Kevin's World of Comics. It's at Tumblr. I started it for fun. It's like a comics diary.
You're getting
but
some hits on that thing, man.
I've gotten some feedback from people who actually know comics, so I feel like I need to up my game. So anybody checking it out, I'm upping my game.
What is the Tumblr address
I didn't mean to
for
put
that?
you
Do
on
remember?
blast, Kevin.
kevinsworldofcomics.tumblr.com.
There you go. Yep, old school comic talk. It's really cool stuff. Definitely check that out. And don't forget to listen to Geekbox. We had a very special episode this week with Adam Fitch. We talked all about his brother Andrew, who unfortunately, if you did hear our past episodes, had passed away recently. So it's good to get Adam back on, and obviously Bush was under better circumstances, but it's great to talk to Adam again. Comedy Button, Manga Machinations.
I mean, I hate to ask even, but is he coming back for good? It's just a one-time thing?
We're recording most of the episodes of the Geekbox now remotely because Ryan Scott moved. He does not live here anymore. He lives really not close anymore. So we're having to do a lot of stuff remote. Adam is more than welcome to join us remote anytime he wants, but Ryan did drive up here for this episode. And it'll happen occasionally. Ryan will be in town every now and again. It's not going to be...
I like the old Geek Rocks.
Yeah. We've talked to Adam.
It's kind of nice to see this coming back together for sad reasons.
Yeah, we talked to Adam about coming back, and again, he's more than welcome to come back anytime he wants. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks. So,
of course.
Yep. And don't forget the Infinite Binge on YouTube, talking about TV shows. Thank you guys all very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't seen Infinity War, what the hell are you doing listening to this podcast? If you've seen it, go watch it again in IMAX, because I heard that's the way to see it. So
that is the way to see it.
We'll catch you next week. Goodbye, everyone.